What's up, guys? Welcome to one more DASHCAST. Today we have a very, very, very special guest here with us. One of my best friends, and not only a special guest, but a very young guest for everything he has done. Okay? Today we're gonna learn about this guy that started with bodybuilding and then moved natural bodybuilding, y'all. No juices, okay? And then moved into college football. Came from a third world country to a first world country to play college football. And then moved into triathlon. And now he's doing hybrid training. So we're gonna learn that and a lot more about this amazing student, not just an athlete, but a 4.0 student at FIU University. So let's hear for Giovanni Garotti.
Oh, let's go.
Brother, thank you so much for coming today.
No, great to be here. Good to have you, bro. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you so much, man. So, actually, I want you guys to hear a little bit more. I know I gave an introduction about Giovanni, but I prepared this for today, and actually nobody here knows about this. And I actually told his friends. I reached out to his best friends, and I was like, hey guys, Giovanni's gonna come to the podcast today. I want you to define Giovanni with one sentence, okay? So I have one sentence from all of his friends saying, okay, describe Giovanni if you had to describe it with one sentence. And completely unrelated, they don't know what they said, but they all send me really funny sentences, really great definitions of Giovanni. So I'm not going to tell you who wrote them, but I'm going to read the sentences to you.
You got to do you like that.
And then you're going to choose your favorite sentence.
Okay.
And then I'll reveal who said it. So the first sentence says, one second. Okay. Gio sleeps in the light because the darkness is scared of him.
Dude. That's crazy. I might know how to do that one.
I mean, yeah, doing bodybuilding and triathlon, you're probably sleeping in the light, brother.
Oh, wow.
Man,
Another one. So your other friend said, Gio asks David Goggins if he's going to carry the boat.
Oh, man. That's perfect.
These are amazing.
One time, Gio and a truck collided, and the news headlines was, truck gets ran over by Gio. Okay, we have a few more here. A long time ago, Gio decided to pee in his backyard, and now that's known as Amazon rainforest.
Each sentence is a different person.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Each sentence is a different. I said, try to be funny, make it a joke, but it was so funny.
Dude, this
they
is
all
creative,
thought
too.
the same thing.
This is crazy.
Genius.
Okay, this one. One time, Gio dug a hole to make a swimming pool, and that's what we know as the Grand Canyon.
This is almost like the Chuck Norris, the old Chuck Norris meme. It sounds like.
It really is. It really is. So, the last one, just for some context here, guys, Gio is also an ambassador for Raw, C-Bum himself.
Right.
Okay, so this one, yeah, we needed that context because they said, rumor says that C-Bum was witnessed crying at Raw's headquarters after being told that Gio was joining the team.
No. I'm gonna meet him though next month. I'm gonna meet him. Oh, that's
exciting.
That's gonna
Oh
be
my God.
awesome, man.
And then last one was when Gio was born, he made the doctor cry. Oh, actually, there's one more. Gio does not sleep; he just waits.
I'm just waiting, recovering. You know?
Very interesting
Okay,
stuff.
Gio, you gotta choose your favorite one.
Oh man, I like the Goggins one.
The Goggins one.
Yeah, I like the Goggins one. I'm a
Okay,
fan of
let
him.
me see who did the David Goggins one. That was Alex Pinto.
Oh,
Shout out, Pinto.
You won. You won.
Oh,
That was the best
you're
joke. I can
amazing.
tell you all that ones.
Thank you,
later.
everyone.
All right. So, let's start from the beginning, man. There's just so much to talk about. I don't want to get lost.
I'm excited.
So, let's begin with the beginning. So, the first passion, right? Because there's just so many we have here to talk about. But the first one was bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Right? You were really young, right? When did you start lifting?
So when I was like 12 years old, I was like really fat. I was a kid.
That's when you peed in your backyard.
Like I was overweight and I wasn't like happy with my body. I suffered a lot of bullying, so it was like I need to change, and I started following some fitness influencers, like what I need to do to get in shape. How do I do that? And I was only 12 years old. I couldn't even go to some gyms because some gyms are like 14 and over and that kind of stuff. So I just started looking up online. I went to a nutritionist down in Brazil, and just started.
So you were still living in Brazil
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
time?
I was in Brazil.
With your
Yeah,
okay.
and I was in like eighth
That's
grade,
funny
ninth
because
grade.
in Brazil, like it's already rare for people to lift at age of 12.
Oh yeah.
But like you see that sometimes in
Yeah.
the US, but in Brazil,
Yeah.
like bodybuilding and weightlifting is not nearly as big down there.
Mhm.
Now it's picking up with
Yeah,
C-Bum
yeah.
and Ramon Dino, but yeah. So you started because of those bullies.
yeah, I was overweight and I wasn't happy with it. Like I spent the whole day just playing video games in my room. I used to play soccer, but was never an athlete. And in my family, there was never like very like athletic people. My dad is a musician. My mom, she's a businesswoman. So
Completely
no one, yeah, it's
unrelated
not
then.
like athletes or very into sports. So I was just finding these passions, and that's when I said, like, I'm not just gonna change. I'm gonna go to a show. I'm gonna step on stage. And,
Oh my
like,
God.
it was a big change, like 12, 13
So
years
you went
old.
from 0 to 100
Yeah,
like
like,
real
this.
quick.
You're like, I'm not gonna lift for health. I want to go on stage.
Yeah, that's it. And it was a little bit because, okay, I'm gonna show everybody that I
can
can
do
get
it.
in 6% body fat. I'm gonna step on stage and just show everyone. But that's like part of it. But I also wanted to motivate other people because I was so young and I
So
was,
you started lifting at 12.
yeah.
And then you were like, okay, like, did you decide you wanted to compete like as you started lifting, or how long did it take for you to like click? Oh, I want to go on stage.
Yeah, a couple of months after. So I just started lifting. I went to the gym, started to understand
months. Wow.
how to do the
That's
workouts.
what we call ambition, Junior.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to understand how to do the workouts, to lift properly, because for someone that never been to the gym, it's a lot of like form and technique. It's not just okay, go lift weights. So when I started enjoying it and I started seeing changes in my body, so I was like, okay, I'll try to find a coach, and I want to step on stage and do a bodybuilding show. And it was like a year after I was 14 years old. I competed in the
So you were lifting for only 2 years? Because you started at 12?
Yeah, it was like 12 to 13. Like
Uh-huh.
I was just turning 13, so it was a little over than a year.
Was there somebody that you were like looking up to? Like, was there like a guy like Arnold or
At the
somebody
time,
that you?
at the time, I really liked Arnold, Ronnie Coleman. I followed Caio Botura from Brazil. He was a natural bodybuilder. A lot of Brazilian fitness influencers at the time. David Lade, I used to watch all his videos, and yeah, like all the men's physique, because I went to compete in men's physique. That's the one you wear shorts. That's not the C-bums category.
Yeah.
And yeah, like 1 year after, I talked to my coach. She was a wellness bodybuilder. She competed in the wellness physique, and I was like, okay.
How did you meet her? Like, you were so young. Like, how?
Yeah.
And none of your parents had that like
Yeah.
lifestyle. So
Any
how
sort.
did that come to be?
That's curious. I think I found her on Instagram, and she was from the same city as I was. I saw that she competed, so I was like, hey,
So you just hit her up?
yeah,
on Instagram.
I DM'd her. I want to start dieting like with an actual professional, because she's a nutritionist. She's a actual dietitian, and she competed. So she was both my coach and my dietitian.
Oh,
So
that's
she
awesome.
was like, yeah,
Buy
like,
one, get two.
yeah, yeah. And she loved the idea. She liked that I was ambitious. Like at an early age, I was trying to step on stage. I was one of the youngest ever athletes to step on stage at 14. So
That's crazy.
we did like a 2-month prep, and it was an insane prep, by the way, because I had to cut so many food. Like,
because you said you were overweight, like
yeah,
a
yeah.
year and a half.
I had to
before
cut carbs, and that's a funny thing, because one day in the middle of the prep, I was like almost 0 carbs, trying
my
to like
God.
dehydrate, and I was dreaming eating salmon with cookies.
Yeah.
Literally, I dreamed that, and I woke up
Perfect
like
meal.
yeah, I woke up like 7. I was like, I need
Oh
food,
my
and
God.
that was the only day that I like cheated in my diet. I just ate like I think it was rice or like, but just a lot in my what had in my fridge, and like some chocolate, and that was the only
like
day.
an impulsive
Yeah,
eating
yeah,
kind
like
of thing.
it was crazy. Like bodybuilding it's insane. You need to have like
And especially
so
at
much
that
discipline.
age, man, like that's
Yeah.
probably so.
Yeah.
No, like I was 14.
And your parents weren't they mad, or like, because I don't think my parents would let me go on a strict diet at that
At
age.
that age,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
how
no
did they
way.
take that?
My dad was always very like supportive. He was like, okay, you want to do this, do it right and 100%, and of course don't use steroids or anything. I never
Do your research.
Yeah,
before you
exactly. I never wanted to
into
do steroids. I was thinking if I became a pro bodybuilder and just like kept on that path, maybe in the future, but of course not at 14. So
Yeah.
no, that's crazy. So yeah, I spoke to my mom. She was a little bit
Your mom was a
skeptical.
little more
Yeah,
hesitant.
yeah. She was like, "Oh, you're gonna get to like very low body fat. That's not healthy for you." Like she was seeing me like starve at home. Like, oh, I need to eat something, and just like working out. I had classes, so I was in ninth grade or freshman year in high school. I was 14, so I had to go to school like at 7, and I had to wake up at like 5 to do fasting cardio. I had to do like an hour on the treadmill, just like walking incline treadmill.
Wow.
But it had to be fasting because you burn more fat. So that's what I had to do every day. It was a tough routine.
That age too, I couldn't even imagine. And you're still, you carry it on to today, doing the same.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
types of
But then, when you were lifting, then you were just lifting and doing just bodybuilding, or were you doing other sports?
No, I was lifting, just playing like pick up soccer, nothing
serious.
Yeah, nothing serious. But the cardio of the bodybuilding was like I used to do like stairs or incline treadmill, but not running, just like walking. So I didn't really like perform. Let's say like I wasn't a runner or anything. I was just like just a bodybuilder.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how did you go from like, okay, so you went on stage at that age, when you were like posing on this stage, like take us back to that moment where you're like on stage, shirtless, age 14.
Yeah.
2 years ago, you're like a little chubby, as you described. And how did you feel then? Did you feel like I made it? Did you like, were you nervous?
It was
like,
oh, man,
how is it like posing in front of a bunch of people? I've always wondered, like I've always wanted to ask somebody because it already feels good, like posing in front of like the mirror at the gym. Imagine like, oh,
there
we got a picture.
Yeah,
Dude, that's what I look like today.
that's me at 14.
You were 14
That's crazy.
there.
I did like a
my
2-month
God.
prep, and I didn't know how to pose at all. Like if you see like actual men's physique competitions, they put their hand in their waist. I was just like, it was hanging there, so I didn't know how to pose properly. But I met a lot of people who helped me out, like some pro bodybuilders at my gym. They're like, okay, you're 14, you're gonna go to the show. Oh, let me help you out. So
this picture is in Brazil.
Yeah, this picture is in Brazil.
There's a bunch of people just in the stands watching.
Yeah, this is the competition.
Are you nervous at all? You don't look nervous. You smile
I
on the
was.
face.
You gotta smile because that's what they told me. Like every time you go pose, you gotta smile and you gotta take the air out so your abs are more like showing. And it's a lot of technique. It's not just go there and like, okay, just stay there flexing. Like it is like breathing technique. You gotta learn how to breathe like only in this part, because if you breathe like through your belly, you're not gonna flex.
You're
your
gonna
abs.
relax.
So it is really
Some people don't
interesting.
understand how crazy posing is.
Yeah, you get tired. Yeah, I was sweating there.
So have you really studied how to pose? Watch videos?
Yeah,
coached?
I watched some videos, and as I said, there's some people at my gym that were willing to help me out.
Yeah.
And shout out to Leo Milani. He was one of my friends that helped me to pose. So I learned I had a month of training, and I competed, I believe it was August 11, 2018. And this was in São Paulo. I think it was Copa Mercosul of WFF.
And so the people competing against you, were they also younger?
There was one guy. I was 14. I think he was also 14.
But for the most part, how old were your competitors?
Oh no, this was under 16 category. So it was just me and someone else, Cesar Koprovsky.
Just the two of you.
Yeah, it was just me and him. I don't know if I have
Dueling it
pictures of
out.
both of us. Yeah, and it was just the only of us, because there's
So
not a
young.
lot of people that compete at this age. And the junior category was the one above us. It was like under 23, and there were way more people because it's a big jump.
Yeah,
but under 16, and they don't even call it men's physique at this.
They call it boys physique.
No, it was like beach model shorts kids or something like that.
Beach
yeah,
model.
beach model. Yeah. And no, it was amazing. After that, I just went to like a barbecue and ate everything.
Oh my God, I bet you
Cooked
the
down
after
as
party
well.
was crazy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I had great memories of that, and just like seeing everybody at the stands. My family were there, my coaches.
So after you did bodybuilding, you were like, okay, screw that. I want to do sports now, and I want to like, not that bodybuilding isn't a sport, you know what I mean? Like, I want to play football.
Yeah.
Like organized
like
sports.
how is that?
Yeah.
How was that? Like, how did you go from, okay, I'm doing bodybuilding in Brazil, to screw it, I want to send it to America and play American football, college level American football? Like,
Yeah,
what
how
was
do you
the
get
relation?
there?
Because I've never met anyone in Brazil or a Brazilian person that played football.
Yeah.
Actually, never. Like American football.
Did you play American football in Brazil? I see that they're starting to do that.
Yeah, I did. Like, so I competed in 2018, and in the beginning of 2019, I was getting ready for my second bodybuilding show. But my friend played American flag football in my city. It's a team called Guarani Indians. It's the football version of the soccer team Guarani in my town. And this is in Rio de Janeiro. This was a little bit after.
Oh my God, I didn't even know they had that in
Yeah,
Brazil.
this is in Rio when I lived
Wow,
in
you look
Rio.
a lot bigger. What happened? What have you been in?
This is more recent. This is in 2021. This is the national
Wow.
championship that we won.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I played for Rio Football Academy, and this is in Iowa Western. This is college football here in US.
Okay, but it's slow. Let's
yeah,
go back.
yeah.
So you had this friend who played flag football.
Yeah.
And then he was also doing bodybuilding?
No, I just knew him. He was a friend of mine. He was like, "Oh, you're starting to get big. You know, you should play football." And we have a flag football team here in the
Is
town.
he one of these?
No, that's in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, okay.
I'm mentioning Campinas, where I'm from, in São Paulo.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so I started playing flag football. Met with the coaches and just fell in love with the sport. And I wanted to play full pads. That's like the actual with the equipment and everything, but I didn't have the age because in Brazil at the time you had to be 16 to play equipped like football. So I played like a year of flag football. Didn't play equipped football in Brazil and went to Canada to play high school football there in 2019.
Oh.
Since outside of the U.S., soccer is so popular.
Yeah.
Was it almost like people were like, "Why are you doing American football
Yeah.
when you could do soccer in Brazil? It's like one of the best countries to do soccer."
Yeah.
Did anyone really ask you about that?
I played soccer, but I was never good enough to
carry it
follow
on.
Yeah, and when I started playing football in Campinas, I was like, okay, I might want to go to Canada or United States because that's where like best players are, the best teams. So I had the opportunity to go on an exchange program to Canada in Calgary in 2019, like 6 months after. I
So
started
you
playing.
were how old?
I was 15.
Oh my
Yeah, I turned 15.
So this is still young.
Yeah.
that's too
Yeah.
super-
Yeah, I was
Wow.
a sophomore or junior in high school, and then I went to Canada. And
But how did you hear of this program? Like online, friends?
My friend, he was going to this exchange
that
program.
same guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, other one.
Okay,
Yeah.
he was just gonna
Yeah.
play there.
Yeah, one of my friends was just, I'm going to Canada for an exchange program. In Brazil, a lot of people do that.
But was he going for football or just going for?
No, just
Oh, okay. So
exchange
he wasn't a
program.
football guy.
No,
Okay.
study abroad thing.
So you
to
started
learn
football,
English and-
what, age 14, 15?
Yeah, 14 to 15.
That's crazy.
Right after you went on stage.
yeah,
Then.
yeah, it was months after.
Where I'm from, Western PA football, tough, blue collar towns.
Yeah.
You start football at age 5, 6,
Yeah,
7 years
yeah.
old. So you're behind the 8 ball already.
No, definitely. I didn't have like the talent or anything. I was learning the sport, learning the routes and everything. So
With learning the sport at such a late,
Yeah.
late
Yeah.
age, it's impressive to play college football because not too many people go on from high school to college
yeah.
at any level.
Mm-hmm.
That's very impressive to me.
Yeah, I was just dedicated, like, okay, I'm gonna learn and I want to become good at it. And once I fell in love, I was like, okay, I want to go to the NFL. I want to become pro. But to do that, I need to leave Brazil. And
I do have to ask about this picture.
yeah,
So, in the WPIL, which is the kind of the organization that is Western Pennsylvania football,
Yeah.
and the PIAA, which is the state, we're not allowed to hurdle. It's a flag.
Really?
Are you allowed to hurdle in
Yeah.
Brazil?
Yeah.
And no flag.
no flag.
That's how it should be.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember
Yeah.
getting a flag for this. Yeah, but this wasn't a clear hurdle. I fell, but it's
I'm sure a
still-
lot of my friends that are watching would
We'll manage
appreciate
the
no
picture.
flag.
yeah, still a good picture. And this was the national championship in 2021. Fast forwarding a little bit, but I was playing for a Real Football Academy. It's one of the biggest programs in Brazil now, and they're just bringing a lot of new kids to learn the sport. So they're doing a lot of good for the
So
sport.
it's picking up in Brazil.
Yeah, definitely. No, we have a lot of teams. We have national championships. We have state championships.
Wow, I had
I
no
even saw
idea.
what Flamengo even.
Flamengo,
They
we have
have a team.
Vasco in Rio, in São Paulo, we have Guarani, that's the team I played.
Speaking of, the NFL is playing in Brazil,
Yeah,
in Sao
yeah,
Paulo this
yeah.
year. First, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you told me about
Yeah.
it. Oh
Yeah,
my
they're
God,
going to
that's
play
That's
in
exciting.
Arena Corinthians.
That's
in-
when we take a
yeah.
trip.
Oh yeah, they're going to São Paulo in September, I think. I
Uh-huh.
think it's the Eagles and other team.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
the
sure.
wrong side of the state. I wish the Steelers
Yeah.
were going over.
Yeah.
I definitely would make that trip with you guys.
No, Brazil,
It's
the,
dope.
the sport. I think it's USA, Mexico, and then Brazil. Like in like fans of the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
Brazil's like in the third. Like there are a lot of like people passionate about the
Oh
sport.
my
there.
God, that's
Yeah.
cool. So you went to Canada not just to play football. You went on this exchange.
Yeah.
student kind of thing.
In my mind, I was like,
Where did you stay in Canada again?
It's called Red Deer. It's 1 hour away from Calgary and Edmonton. It's like, if you're from the United States, it's north of Montana. You cross the border of Montana and you get,
Oh,
you
okay,
get there.
right there.
So it's
But-
west.
Okay.
Yeah, middle to west.
So
yeah.
you went at age 15
Yeah, live
to
by
live there by
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my
Not
God.
by
What is your
myself.
family
You
thinking?
stayed
Like,
at a... Okay,
that's-
that
yeah,
first.
Yeah. So
that's scary stuff. Were you
Your
scared?
mom-
What are you
First,
feeling?
this kid wants to starve. Now he wants to go to a different country.
Yeah,
What's wrong with
yeah.
my kid? What did I do wrong?
I mean, I always like to like get out of this like comfort zone and go for things.
can
It's
tell.
scary. Like I had like a lot of trouble. Like I had anxiety when I was in Canada because you were like 3 flights away from home on the other side of the world.
Right.
But I had a
And you're 15.
Yeah, yeah. I was in high school, but I had a host family. I stayed with them, and they were great. My roommate, or like my host brother, he also played football at my high school, so we became like best friends.
So when you came, did you come in already knowing that you would make the team, the high school team? Or like, did you come to study and you're like, I'm going to try to make the team?
Yeah, I tried to make the team. I tried to email the coaches, but I didn't.
You
they
didn't get in.
Yeah, they didn't answer. So I just got there, and it was a public school, not very competitive. So everybody that wanted to join, they could be in the roster, but you had to be good enough to actually play. So they allowed me to practice, and yeah, I got the chance to play running back and linebacker. My main position was always running back, but when I got there, the coach was like, "Okay, you're big, you're fast, you gotta tackle some people."
Yeah.
So he put me in the linebacker position as well, and that's what I played mostly because we had great running backs. And yeah, I played 1 season there, and I was going to continue my education in high school, continue in Red Deer and playing for them another year, but the
In
pandemic
Canada.
hit. Yeah,
Oh my God.
That was
So
in-
that set you back.
yeah.
And then the pandemic hit. Oh my God.
So that was late 2019. Finished the season. We had a average season, but I had some highlights. It was fun. Like the whole experience was great. I had a lot of trouble because like living in Canada at 15 years old, like I was with my friends at Domino's one day having pizza. It was 11 at night, negative 45 degrees.
Oh
Are you
my.
kidding?
And it was like, okay, how are we gonna get home? Because there's no like Ubers around. Like the buses stopped at like 10:30, and it was 11 at night. I think we gotta walk. So we we
my
literally walked like an
God.
hour and 30 minutes home in the snow, like in a snowstorm. And my friends, they almost had frostbite.
Was David Goggins there?
This man's cut up for stuff like this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, it was like these experiences that like build you, and like
Yeah.
you're able to tell other people about it. Like it's
That's
not related to sports,
crazy.
but it's just like it builds your life resume. So like I was
Life
one.
resume. I like that
Yeah,
term. I've
yeah.
never heard that.
So I was just with my friends, and we had to walk an hour and 30 minutes, like in the snow, just going back home. I have videos of that
That's
day,
crazy.
and we made it home safely.
And then
but
how long did it take? An hour, you said?
Yeah, over an hour, because we we're just like having pizza, but we didn't think like.
Does your mom know that? She's about to?
Yeah. I think I told her. And like I couldn't call my host parents because they were asleep, so it was like, okay, we actually gotta go home now, and we just walk. And Red Deer is also not the safest towns in Canada. There's like a lot of drugs.
That's why
and-
you don't let your kids leave home that
Yeah,
early.
yeah. No, but this like going
Like
abroad.
you guys clearly didn't think about that before.
Yeah, I highly recommend that like parents let them kids do like. Of course, you gotta have like an agency, or everything needs to be organized to do this. Like do a study abroad when you're in high school, because you won't have your parents next to you.
You
okay,
really learn how to think
honey,
outside of the
I'll
box.
I'll do this for you. It's like, okay, it's you. You gotta figure it out. You might be able to call your parents, but you gotta figure
They're
it out.
not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, you gotta solve like the situation that you have in front of you. And I had like a lot of problems, and it was just times that you make progress. Like, okay, I figured this out by myself,
Yeah.
and that was amazing. So I stayed there until March of 2020. That's when the pandemic hit, and my goal was to go to college in Canada and everything because my coach had connections there. But pandemic started, and everybody was, okay, you can either stay in Canada but like stay at home for 6 months, or you can go back to your family, which is more recommended. So all the exchange students went back. I had friends from Germany, Italy,
Oh my
my
God.
Brazilian friends.
So how did that make you feel? Because like, okay, you were growing in the football world.
Yeah.
Let's just put it this way. First you're in Brazil in the small team, then you go play nationals in Brazil, bigger teams. Then you get the opportunity to play in Canada.
Yeah.
Although it's high school, it's still better than playing in Brazil.
Yeah.
And then when you're like peaking, you're like, boom, pandemic. I got to start from zero. Like you go back and you get shut off back to Brazil.
Yeah.
Did it feel like everything was
So how did you take that? Did you feel like, okay, whatever, I don't want to do football anymore? Like, how did that go? Like,
So when I got to Brazil, I was still training. Me and my family, we started to build like a little home gym at my house. It was at the time that everybody was trying to build home gyms because all the gyms were closed.
I did too the same.
Yeah. Like in US, they had some awesome like garage gyms. I saw like some pictures. It's insane. But I was trying to like keep up with training, just doing my stuff like in the backyard. But I still wanted to go back to Canada or go to the US. And I was also in contact with my high school coach, and I was like, "Oh no, it's okay. After the pandemic, you'll be able to come back, do your senior year."
so you kept that connection.
Yeah, I'll set you up with like good colleges here in Canada. You know, education is free. He was trying to like
convince you.
Yeah, sell me to like.
I hear
stay
that
in
there's
Canada.
a lot of like older people in Canada, so they really try to motivate the young to come.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like motivation, especially for athletes. So if you do anything to Canada, right? So for people that want to leave Brazil, it's a lot easier to go to Canada or any country, really, not just Brazil, than to the US, right?
Yeah.
Because here's a lot of competition.
Yeah.
So they're more open since they need more young people.
Yeah, I believe so. And college in Canada is great. The education there is great, but the weather is a big factor for me because it was like negative 50s, and you know we're from Brazil, you're from Rio. Like I love the weather. That's why we're in Florida now, and I'm living in Florida. So that was a big thing, and also it's kind of like depressing, like just to be in the snow for like 9 months of the year, and like there's not a lot of sun out, it's always cloudy. So I was like, okay, maybe I don't want to go back to Canada. I'll start to see if I'm able to go to the US, but the level is higher. So am I able to
like
play
playing football in the US?
Am I able to play football here? So while I was waiting, I didn't know the pandemic was going to take too long.
Nobody did.
Yeah. So it was like end of 2020. I was
still going on,
still practicing by my own. Didn't have like the team.
So you were practicing like at home only?
Yeah,
like,
I went to like some public like fields that were open, or just
and
like
you're just
or going in when it was you weren't supposed to be.
Yeah. Like or just like when you find some square feet of grass and you can
just
do
run.
some drills. Yeah. So I was just doing that. And I met a friend from Rio online. I was starting to do some TikToks about football. I was trying to like motivate other Brazilians to play football because it was not that known. So that's where I got a lot of followers on TikTok. My videos are like 100 to 100K because they were like, okay.
Those videos were just you training, like doing
drills.
It was
me
talking about football.
Talking about football,
That's
like rules,
crazy.
like okay, these are some drills you can do, like very basic. But for people that have no idea about the sport, it's like okay, I might look up into that. And I got DMs about like, oh, I'm in northeast of Brazil, and I found a team because you told me there was a team here, and I just joined. So that was like, I got goosebumps because I was helping people like to find the sport. And
and it's so new too. Like that's
because everybody was like, oh, I like the sport, but is there a team in my town? So I was like, okay, just DM me and we're gonna find out. And we find, oh no, there's a team like an hour away from you. Can you go practice there? Yeah. Just message the coach. I'm going, and now I'm in the team. Like, thanks for doing that. So it was awesome because I was trying to help people play the sport.
And that was in 2020, you said?
Yeah, end of 2020, beginning of 2021.
How old were you?
I think I turned 17 in 2020.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So this is still so young. You're one of the main catalysts of football in Brazil, which is insane.
Yeah, 2020. I turned 17.
Inspiring the youth and.
Yeah, I was
it's like 5 years for us. It's 1 year for him. Time works different for this man. So
I was trying to like show people the sport, and with my videos, a guy from Rio de Janeiro, André, my friend that played for Rio Football Academy, he was like, we have a team in Brazil. We're practicing. We're back to practice now.
Like a team in Rio?
Team in Rio, yeah. I'm from São Paulo. It's like 6-hour drive.
That's when you moved to Rio.
That's when I moved to Rio.
Oh my god! I didn't know it was because of football.
Yeah, it was just
I knew
because
he
of
moved to
football.
Rio because I'm from Rio, right? So we've talked about you lived in Rio for a little bit. I didn't know it was because of that.
Yeah, so in beginning of 2021, he saw my videos and was like, "Oh, your team is not practicing yet. You wanna join us? We're already practicing." And they didn't play the same league, so it wasn't like, okay, I'm leaving my team to go there. It's like a different thing. So stayed in Rio for a week just to practice, to get to know the coach.
Okay, just to meet them up.
Yeah, Coach Patrick. And they were great. Like, I loved everybody. And people from Rio, like, you became best friends. Like, 1 hour talking.
It's probably a cultural shock.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like, when you get to Rio, and you're
Because
like...
they already say, like if the Brazilian culture is very welcoming, like, everybody's like,
yeah.
yeah, come on. And,
Yeah.
like, you met the guy in the afternoon at night. He's like, oh, this is my best friend. He's staying over tonight, Mom.
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
And then you just, little does she know, you met him, like, 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
But that's Brazil, right? Rio is that times 10. Like,
Yeah. Like, I got to Rio, I was like, yo, I'm from São Paulo, because, you know, in Brazil we have a little like rivalry, São Paulo and Rio. And they're like, okay.
It's the two biggest states, so there's always this beef, right? Which one's the best state?
Yeah. So I got to Rio and I met everybody, and I was like, okay, so you're the guy from São Paulo. All right, come here. And but they were like very nice to me, and we had like a week practicing. I had some like one-on-one practice sessions with the coach. I paid there to stay for a week just to do like full intensive training to
Like
see.
very personalized.
Yeah. To see like how I liked it.
That's a whole different world. I
Yeah.
can't even believe, because I lived in Rio for
Yeah.
16, 17 years, and I've never heard of like a training for football like
Yeah.
that. So that's really cool.
So I stayed there for a week, and on Saturday was my last day. It was like a team practice, and in the end, my coach was like, you know, if you ever want to like live in Rio, or you ever buy here, just let me know, and you can still practice with us. And it was still pandemic. I was in my my senior year in high school, doing all online. I graduated doing everything online. So I was like, you know, Mom, can I move to Rio? Because, well,
That's crazy.
I'm not doing anything like in São Paulo. Like, I'm just studying online, I'm practicing, and my team.
She's like, at least it wasn't Canada.
Yeah. At least you're closer.
That's
now,
better.
you know?
Like,
So she was like, okay, but what are your plans? Because after you graduate high school, you either got to go to college in Brazil, or you're trying to go to the US, because you need to be good enough to play in the US if that's what you want to do. So what we did, and my mom agreed to that, she was like, okay, I will pay for you to go to Rio, to stay there for 6 months, and you do your best. You don't need to worry. Like, you graduate from school, do everything online, but you don't need to worry about work, anything. I got
Just
you.
train.
Yeah, I got you for this month, but do your best, make some good highlights, play good, so you can have good material to send to university coaches in US. And if
God.
that does not work, in January when you come back, you're doing the Brazilian SATs and you're entering college in Brazil. Because, well, I need to go to college, I need to work. Like,
yeah,
life
you
is
gotta
not,
get something done.
I'm
yeah.
not a pro athlete. Life is not just training.
Yeah.
So I agreed to that. I was like, okay.
So basically now you have this clock ticking where
Yeah.
you have nothing to do but train and eat and sleep
Yeah.
for 6 months and try to
Yeah.
make it into the US. And not just make it in the US, but you have graduated high school. So you have to make it into college
Yeah.
in the US. That's crazy, because it felt like he was growing linearly, like he did football in Brazil, Canada, and then boom, pandemic hit, and now you're starting to pick back up. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
training on your own, move to Rio, better team, better coach, better training, but now you have this deadline. Okay, so how were those 6 months like? I bet you probably like the prepping one when you were 14.
No, everybody asked me, so you lived in Rio, so you went to the beach a lot? I'm like, I stayed there for 6 months. I think I went to the beach like 2 days.
No,
And I
crime.
could see the beach like from my balcony.
Oh my god, so you were right there.
Yeah, just because like
No time.
I was training all the time and I was just focused. I never was like a go out person.
Like
I-
partying.
Party, yeah. I like to stay home, sleep.
Seems
already.
like the same story. Discipline.
Yeah,
just
I
keeps
always
taking you.
carried that with me since bodybuilding, and I was like,
Now
I
I
know.
understand why your friends were saying those jokes.
Yeah, and I don't like try to be like that or force it. It's just like who I am, and I love being this way because you know you can accomplish so much by just like locking in, and it's not like, oh, you don't have fun in life. No, of course I go out with my friends, but if I want to do something, okay, I will do it.
Priorities.
Yeah, like if I commit to something, don't bother. I will do this.
Let me get it done.
Let me do this first. So I stayed in Rio. I played with them for 5 months, and it was just practice. We had, I think, one friendly match. And in December, it was the national championship. That there are the pictures of her doing everything.
You got in Rio when again? August?
Middle of 2021.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's towards the end.
Yeah, in the
Towards
beginning,
the end of the
yeah,
6 months.
In the beginning of 2021, I went there for a couple of days just to see how it was, if I could live there, if I was adapting. And I was like, okay, I'm moving in August 2021. And I had from August 2021 to December to do my best, make good highlights, prepare so I could go to college January or in the fall of the next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had a gap year because I graduated in 2020. So in 2021, I was just training. And
So now I'm guessing you did well because you sent your clips, I'm sure, to all these universities. You get into a
Yeah,
university.
how was that
what
application process?
yeah,
Like,
there's the thing. So like I did well. I had good highlights in Brazil. I played as running back the whole season. And I was like, okay, it's December. I need to send applications because I'm trying to go to college in January, and it was a tight window. I didn't know
Really
we need
tight.
like I didn't know we need like 6 months to apply for college. So I was sending emails to a lot of coaches. I got zero.
yeah, you had no idea
Zero responses.
how late you were
Yeah.
already.
And I was trying to go to community colleges because it's easier, it's more cheap.
And like in Brazil, that's also a big difference for context here, guys. If you want to go to a college, you can go there a week before class starts and sign up.
Yeah.
As long as you pass the test or whatever. If
Yeah.
you have the grade, you can come into a college a week before and join it.
Exactly.
Right? Like an university. But in America, there's a whole rolling
Yeah.
admission sort of process that we are not aware of as international students.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you were really late. And then how did you feel when you realized how late you were?
I was like, okay, I might need to stay 6 more months in Brazil because January won't work. I messaged some college advisors and they were like, yeah, all the documentation, the visa.
Oh, yeah, you had to go.
Yeah, because I
after
didn't have
all
a
of it.
visa. I had the Canadian high school visa, so I need a U.S.
Different.
visa. So you won't have time to do it. But you keep training, you just keep doing your thing, and you apply for fall. So 6 months after that. And by January, I didn't have responses from any coaches. I messaged. I was trying to get into community colleges because it's easier to get in. The teams, like, they prepare you to go to D1. That was my main goal, going to D1 after all that. And I was like, okay, I'll try to find the JUCO. That's what they call it, junior colleges. And yeah, so I couldn't get in January. Stayed the first semester of 2021. Just
How many colleges are we talking? Like, how many applications? How many emails? Of course, I know you don't remember the exact number, but just around. Like, how
it
many
was,
colleges?
Like, applications, like actual college applications, I think it was like 8, 9. Because the community colleges mostly are free. You don't have to pay for applications. So I was like, okay, I'll
Just
apply.
file in and
Yeah.
send it.
These
But-
college coaches, though, some of them are savage. I mean, they
Yeah.
won't answer.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a game.
I got zero
Yeah.
answers. I
Business.
swear, I think I sent emails like every day for like 3 months.
Oh
I don't know
my
how. It was like
God.
just an introduction, my highlights, and I was just changed the coach's name. I was just like
Right.
sending spam emails to all.
how
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
Yeah. Like sending to all coaches, and I got zero. It was like 400. I don't know how many emails because I was sending every day a different email. But they got
That's
got
crazy.
emails every day from
After
the whole
like
country.
2
Yeah.
months of sending emails, why didn't you like just be like, this is not gonna work out? Like, probably not gonna work.
I'm not like that. I wasn't gonna do that, and I'll get to that part. So I didn't get responses. In the first semester of 2022, after I came back from Rio, my plan was already going to the United States, and my mom was more relaxed. Well, I was under 18. That's why I'm saying my parents. I depend on my parents.
Yeah, of course.
I was under 18, and my parents are like, okay, you had good videos, you did your best. Are you working to go to US? I was like, yeah, I'm doing my best. So my mom, she agreed to let me go to the US, and that's what we did. So for the first semester of 2022, I went back to São Paulo to play for Guarani Indians again. Now,
Oh my
full
gosh.
pads football, equipped football.
Oh,
play,
nice.
We played for the state championship, and I got more videos, which was actually good. And had a good time over there. It was awesome to play for them, like in full pads, because I only played for them 2 years before flag football. And I always
And it's
told,
probably a whole different world.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
I
it's-
have
it's a
never
different
played football,
sport.
but you guys
Yeah,
here,
it's a
because
different
Hunter also
sport.
played, right? D1.
Yeah.
So, like, it's definitely, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
so and I always told my coach Lalau, shout out to you. And I always told him I'm gonna go back and I want to play for you. So I had the opportunity to do that in 2022, and I played the state championship. Still sending emails, didn't get anything. So I was
my
like,
God.
okay, let me find the best junior college team in
If
US.
I was listening to this without seeing him, I would think, okay, by now he's like 46 years old.
No, that was
But
no,
watch him say, yeah, I was 13 at the time.
no, that was 2022.
That's crazy, man.
And I have
Okay.
pictures, documentation of everything.
That's crazy.
And-
That's really awesome.
2022. A funny story about that actually. When I turned 18 in Brazil, we need to do a mandatory draft for the military.
Yeah, you gotta go present.
Yeah. And
I'm
like,
ready to serve.
and I wasn't going to college, so like like it's easier for you to get drafted if you're not doing anything. They're like, okay.
Oh yeah, if you're not in college at the time, there's a high chance you're gonna get drafted in. Yes.
Yeah, like in Brazil, when you turn 18, you need to like enlist.
Yeah,
and they choose, okay, we need you. And if they say they want you, you cannot do anything. You gotta go.
Right.
But when I got there, I was strong and everything. They're like, okay, soldier, you gotta
You're
get
ready.
here.
You're cut out for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're the perfect
I
match.
did the medical, like all the things, but I was telling them like I met like the cornell or a high patent guy, and he loved football, and I was like, I'm going to the US to play football. Like it's not sure yet, but I'm doing my best. And he
Like,
was like
trying to make sure you don't get drafted.
yeah, because if you go to college,
Because imagine on top of this whole craziness, like going to a different country to play this completely different sport, you have to be worried about getting drafted into the army.
Yeah.
Like midway through
'cause
your prep.
if they said you gotta stay here for a
Holy
year, you gotta
God.
stay there for a year. That's
Yeah,
how it works.
I know.
But even if like
crazy.
you get off like very easily, like I have asthma or something like that, they're not very like push
Harsh,
you. Yeah, because
yeah.
they don't need a lot of people.
Yeah, but if they do want to
Yeah,
get you, there's
yeah.
nothing you can
It
do.
happens,
It's
it
in the
happens.
Constitution. Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm gonna play football. I played in Rio. I might go to the national team because there was under 20 national team starting to happen in Brazil, and my coach told me that I might have been like.
And they bought your story.
Yeah, I might have been like nominated to the national team. So I was like, there's all this going on. I'm going to the US, and he was like, okay, I got you, kid, and he just let me go. So he was really nice, and he loved football. He was like, okay, what team you like in the NFL? And it was just started.
Who is your NFL team?
I'm a
is-
Giants fan, unfortunately. Yeah.
Top years.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley just
Yeah.
left.
Go
us.
Steelers.
Yeah. You're Steelers fan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so that happened, but I didn't end up going, thankfully. And that was July 2022, and it's okay. I didn't
So
get.
when did you get like the news?
Yeah.
Like what was the day like? You
That's
woke
the
up
thing.
and you're like, boom.
I didn't commit to any colleges. I never got letters of anything. I don't know if I told you that. So it was like June, July 2022, and I had to go to college in the fall, in August. And I was like, okay, I got no answers. I'll do the
Wow,
worst
so
case scenario.
6 months went by and still nothing.
Nothing. Because when you say, hey, coach, I'm a Brazilian running back, they're like, you
Go play soccer,
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. Like, you play football, you're in Brazil.
So
like,
you do jujitsu?
yeah, like,
Wrong sport. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's what might have happened, or I don't know. No one responded to me. So I was like, okay, let me see the junior college league in here in the United States. Who's the best team? And it was Iowa Western Community College in Iowa. They won the national championship. Like, it was the best team. So I was like, okay, if I need visibility, I need to be in the best team. And I was just confident that, okay, I don't want to be in a bad team. I need to be in the best team because if I play good, I can go to D1. So I messaged this coach, no responses. And I was like, okay, I'm going either way. I'm showing up. I'm going to Iowa. So I applied to Iowa Western Community
As a
College.
regular student.
Yeah, because I was like,
Oh
the
my
only
God.
reason.
Once you get there,
This is a
you're betting on
crazy
yourself.
Once I
bet.
get there, I was like, I'll just
Try.
say hi. I just got here to play for you. I'm from Brazil. I'm here to play football. But if I don't get the chance, I didn't count that option. Like, I knew I was getting it.
Yeah.
But
Oh my.
so my parents and like my friends are like, okay, you're going there, but you're not in the team, but you're going to play. I was like, yeah. So if you don't get on the team, what are you doing in Iowa? Well,
We'll figure it out.
Nothing.
I figured it
This
out.
is- Oh
So,
my God. That's crazy.
that's what I did.
That's kind of what you did for high school too, right? Because you went without knowing whether you
Yeah.
would or would not be on
Yeah.
the team, but now at a
Yeah.
much higher level.
And I believe in this. Like, a lot of people, they say law of attraction. There are a lot of names for this, but if you have your mind into something and you know it's gonna happen, like, dude, it always happens. It's crazy. You might, like, some people believe like it's religion or it's just like a force, but I knew I was
The
gonna
law
play.
of attraction. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Like that book, The Secret.
Yeah.
I've read that book and they talk
Mhm.
a lot about that.
It
yeah.
works. Like, if you don't have any conflicts and like, oh, what if? No, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play in the best junior college team. It happened, and that's what happens. So I got there. I applied. I got in. And community colleges, there's not a lot of requirements to get in. So I got in. And in July, I went to Fort Lauderdale. So a month before my classes start, I went to XP Sports, which is a NFL facility and college football facility in Fort Lauderdale, where they prepare the college kids to go to the NFL, like for the combine. It's like a prep school, like Exos, or heard?
Yeah.
It's one of those. And I contacted the coach. He was like, oh, yeah, you can stay here for a month. You just pay like the monthly fee and you join other college kids to get ready for the fall season. So I was like, okay, I'll get 1 month to practice in Florida before going to Iowa because I wanted to be like get
Be in
ready.
tip-top
I
shape,
wanted to be in
ready to
shape.
go.
Yeah, exactly. So I got to Fort Lauderdale like in the middle of July, and started practicing in this facility. And it was like top coaches. Tony Villani, he's the head coach in this facility, and like all his athletes go to the NFL. The top speeds in the 40-yard dash are his athletes that go to XP
Oh my
for the
God.
combine. Like I was in the like mecca of football, and I just showed up and it was like, oh hey, how did you get here? I was like, no, I just got an Airbnb here in Fort Lauderdale. I walked here because I wasn't gonna Uber. So it was like a 2-mile walk that I had to do every day for this facility. I was like, so you came from Brazil? Like every time people like
Yeah, like
question,
what the heck?
yeah, every time people question me, but I was like, yeah, I just really want to be here, and I know you're a great coach, and I just want to get ready to go for community college. And it was great because in this facility, I met Mike Tyson, I met Evan Ingram,
Oh my
that was playing the
God.
Saints. I
Yeah.
met a lot of NFL players because they were just doing like summer workouts there. So it was great to be like side by side of them, like just
Of
training.
course.
Did you-
Wow.
Did you just play football at that college, that JUCO school,
Yeah,
or did
yeah.
you change?
No, I played one season and then I went to triathlon.
Okay.
Whoa, that's the next.
Yeah. I'll get there. Yeah.
So you trained there for like a month, and
Yeah.
then you went to the junior college. When you got there, how did you meet the coach and stuff? Like,
So I stayed there for a month in Fort Lauderdale, and like mid-August, like a couple of days before class started, I got to Iowa. I got to the college, and first thing I did was like, okay, let me find the coach's office because I need to introduce myself and everything. So
You weren't even worried about the school part of it.
No.
Athletics, yeah.
At that point, I was like,
Yeah.
I would just want to go to the NFL. I was doing a business major because I wanted to learn about it. Just so like when I retire, if best case scenario, I go to the NFL and I become a pro. Once I retire, I need to have like I need to
Something to
do
fall
something
back on.
else.
yeah.
So I was wanted to do business, but so I did business and got to Iowa. First day, I met some athletes getting out of practice, and I was like, "Hey, where's the coach?" So just led me to his office, and he was like, "All right, who's this kid?" He was like, "Hey, nice to meet you, coach. My name is Giovanni. I'm an athlete from Brazil. I messaged you a couple times, but I didn't get an answer." And so I
The
just
coach was probably like, "This is a stalker."
yeah. So like I just
But a good one.
came here and I want to play for you. I played in Brazil. I played high school in Canada. Just like selling myself, everything
Of course.
I accomplished, and I sent him my highlights. And I was like, so you're going to school here? I was like, yeah, I just got here from Brazil. Like, so what if I didn't let you in the team? I was like, okay, I would figure it out. And he was like, this kid is crazy. Like, 'cause
I want this guy on my
because
team
the
is what
guy-
I would be
He was
thinking.
Yeah.
so confused.
yeah, because he was like, you traveled from Brazil to Iowa, and I didn't invite you to get here. Like,
I didn't answer your
didn't-
email.
Yeah, like I didn't.
That's
I didn't
crazy.
want you on my team. Like, I don't know if he even like saw my email, but I was like, I want to play here. So he was like, okay, are you ready? Yeah, and he let me in. I was like, oh.
Right there,
Yeah.
like just like
I
that.
think we had two meetings. The first one, he was like, "Oh, I'm kind of busy right now. There were other coaches there, but meet me like in a couple of days." And I think he saw my video or something. And when I met him, I think he even forgot that I was supposed to meet him. He was like, "Hey, coach, you invited me to come here again." He was like, "Oh yeah, come in." And I mean, there are like 100 athletes in the team.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Okay, I saw everything, and you're good to go. You're ready." I was like, "Oh, so he means like that I'm in?" Yeah, I'm ready. Okay.
Like not even tryouts.
Yeah.
He was just like, "This guy's crazy. I
Yeah,
want him."
yeah. Apparently. So he was like, okay, you just be like a walk-in player, and you be a red shirt this season. So I didn't play like in varsity because like season would start a week after that, and I got there in the beginning of classes because if you commit to college, you should be there like in July so you can do the summer camp,
Preseason and all
preseason,
that.
kind of stuff. And I got there before classes start because I couldn't go before because I wasn't in the team. So
That's crazy.
he was
man.
like, okay, you're in. I'll set you up with like all the equipment and everything. Meet this guy, and practice starts. I don't know, next week. So I was
Wow, that was
I got
probably
in. Like, yeah, I
punch
got
in
in.
the face.
Exciting
That's-
stuff.
That was the thing. Like I told my family, I told my coaches in Brazil, like it worked out, and I knew it was gonna work out, but it was a relief that I was actually in the team
course.
because worst case scenario, I wouldn't be on the team. I would stay there for 6 months just studying in Iowa, and like the reason for me to be there was football. And if I wasn't playing, like
Yeah, no
I don't know
point.
what I was doing there. Yeah,
Did,
So-
what are some? Did you play Lackawanna by any chance?
I think they played. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
had
because
some
I was
friends on
redshirting.
Lackawanna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I redshirted. I practiced for like 2 months, and that's when like the big turn in my life happened because until then I was like, I want to go to the NFL. I love football. I need this, and I will be a pro player. I was doing everything to get there, and I was on track to do so because I was playing. Iowa Western was the best team. In the year that I redshirted, they won the national championship. The year after I left, they won again, back-to-back national champions. And all the players, like, I was a running back. The D-line that I was playing against in practice, they went to, like, D1. I think it was Penn State.
Wow.
Maybe Alabama. Like, they all go to top
Like
one.
these, big Power 5 schools.
Yeah, D1 colleges, and they have a big wall, like all the NFL players that played for Iowa Western. So I was like, okay, I'm at the right place. I just need to do my thing, and I'll be redshirt this season, but next season, hopefully I'll start and go from there. Because you have 2 seasons, and then you got to go to a D1 or other 4-year schools.
For context, too, JUCO is actually great athletes.
Yeah.
It's just guys that maybe can't succeed in the classroom as well, or guys who stepping stone to transition. A lot of good
junior
athletes
college
come
is
from
like
those schools.
D1 level football, but maybe because of academics or other reasons, they wouldn't be able to go D1.
Especially the
straight away.
best college of the nation. I bet you it's competitive.
Yeah, because I was like, if I want to go to D1, I need to be in the best team, and if I stand down the best team, I will go D1.
Did you ever watch those the what is it, Netflix show on JUCO?
Friday Night Live?
Yeah.
No, it's Last Chance U.
Yeah. Do you ever watch those?
What is it
Coach,
called?
Last Chance U. It's basically they pick a JUCO school and follow them for like a year.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they did with like EMCC, I think, East Mississippi, and they played against us. And I think the Netflix show was going to go to Iowa Western.
That would have been dope.
In the season, I was there.
Yeah.
But
That's
I don't know what
crazy.
happened. It didn't work out. But they did, with the team that we played against, EMCC, they did this Netflix show.
So what was that big turn that you were saying? So you said that was the time where you're like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah.
I basically made it. Like, right? You're like, okay, I started in this really small team in São Paulo, and I'm playing college football in America.
Yeah.
And then, boom.
So
what happened?
Like, everything was as I planned. I wasn't surprised because deep inside I knew I was going to be there. But, okay, everything I set up, it worked. I'm here. Now I just got to do my thing. I practiced for 2 months, and, like, in the second month, I was like, people here, like, they do everything to play football. And I had 1 concussion in Canada in high school. And I knew about that. Like, football is not a surprise that people get concussions. And there's CTE, which is like a brain injury after, like,
There's a lot of that.
in retired athletes. So I always knew that, but I didn't want to face this, like, as a reality because I just wanted to play the sport because I love the sport. But being there for, like, these 2 first months, I started to, like, realize that, like, well, here is the real thing. Like, U.S., like,
they're really hitting heads.
yeah, they're like, they want to go to the NFL, and they don't care about, like, anything else. Yeah, you want to go to the NFL. And that's when I started thinking, like,
like, that's their only priority.
Yeah, like, maybe
even at the cost of their own, like, health.
Yeah. Some people think like that, and
many.
Yeah, that's obsession.
Many.
That's probably all the ones that make it that far.
Yeah, and, like, I don't judge. Like, if you want to go pro, I support, and I think that's great. Like, the discipline to go pro. But I start to think, like, concussions. Like, I was a running back, so it's the position that hits the head the most.
Oh yeah.
So I started to think, like, maybe, like, if I go pro and, like, I'll just be playing for, like, 20 years, and after I retire, there's a possibility of having, like, CTE, brain injury, that kind of stuff. So that just started hitting me, and it never did before. I played football for 2 years.
So you kind of started facing the dilemma of, like, this super high level.
Exactly.
And being like, okay,
is it worth
health or right?
Yeah, like,
becoming a pro. Like, does that matter more than being healthy and my family and all of that, right? Because
so that was a big shock to me, because when I started thinking about that, I was talking to myself like, Gio, like, you're not doing this, right? Like, you're not considering not playing anymore. Because I was fighting in my head when I was considering, like, okay, maybe my health is more important. Maybe I don't want to go pro. But I was like, no, that's crazy. I'm crazy. Because I've been doing this for 2 years. I want to go to the NFL. I told everybody that I'm going to the NFL.
I told everybody.
Because that's what I said. There's also the pressure, because I was so confident that I knew I was going to do everything, and I did everything. And I was like,
and then when you
I am going to the NFL. Like, there were like 2 Brazilians in the NFL at the time, Duzão and Cairo Santos. And I was like, I'll be the 3rd one. I will go to the NFL. And when I started thinking, like, maybe other things are more important than this, I spent like 2 weeks. I still went to practice, but I was like, damn, am I really, like, not playing this anymore. That's what I want. So I spoke to my parents, and in a couple of days, like thinking about it, I was like, yeah, maybe I don't love the sport more than anything as I thought I did.
More than your own
More
health.
than my health, you know, because I'm not saying that like everybody that plays football gets brain injured, or brain damage.
But at that position,
It
the
happens,
numbers
you
are
know,
But
pretty-
it's a risk.
yeah, you know, just like boxing or MMA, those kinds of things, there is a risk. And for me, it got to a point that I was like, okay, my health is more important. And
Was there a case where like you got hit in practice bad that made you think this, or it just
mean,
came by watching
in
it?
Canada, I had a concussion. I didn't pass out or anything, but it just gave me a headache for a couple of days. And when I started like actually
Practicing with the
looking,
team.
practicing, like looking into what concussions are, like what actually happens, I was thinking about. I always love like the medical field, and I'm a dietetics major. I switched from business to dietetics, so I started to look more into like the neuroscience things and what happens in football players. Now, I don't know if you watched the movie with Will Smith. Yeah, I think it's Concussion. The name. Yeah,
Great movie.
yeah,
Great
exactly.
movie.
So I was like, all these things are real, but
And
not
it's
many people
permanent
talk. Yeah,
brain injury.
not
Yeah.
many people talk about it. Like the NFL. They say they're trying to do
They
the
kinda
best they
hide it.
can, but they kind of
They try to hide it. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And also because they want to sell this amazing, only the good parts,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's how
It's the
marketing
entertainment
works.
because if
Yeah, that's
everybody
just-
realize, okay, football is bad for your health, no one's gonna play football, and
Nobody's gonna support it.
make profits out of it. So it is a side of the story that not a lot of people talk about, but I started to realize, and like, all right, maybe my health is more like longevity in life is more important. I don't want to get like any brain damage or anything. Just the risk is enough for me to, all right, maybe I don't want this bad to like go to the NFL. So like in October of 2022, after practicing for 2 months, I played that picture. I was in a, what is it called, like a red shirt game, or there's varsity and I forgot the name of the
JV.
JV.
Junior
Yeah,
varsity.
yeah,
Yeah.
I played a JV game like with like all the red shirts, and I played good. I had fun, but at that point I was like, okay, maybe this is not it. There's more in life than just the game, because I was like so obsessed that I didn't do like anything
Yeah,
else.
it was
you know,
just
Just
like you're
train,
wearing
eat,
yeah,
this.
because
Sleep,
you know
train,
I was
eat,
from
sleep.
Brazil, so I'm in disadvantage. Like I started playing late in life, so I was like, okay, 24 hours a day, I'm doing this because I need
To
to go
catch
to the NFL.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was also the pressure of like everybody that I told that I was going to the NFL, all the media that I had, all like my TikTok I was posting about it, and
So
suddenly
you kept that.
You
when
didn't
came
want
to
them
America.
to say this guy gave up.
yeah, exactly.
You know, this guy didn't do
Yeah.
what
I
he
was
said
like,
he was
There's
gonna
all
do.
that social pressure.
Yeah, I was like, am I giving up or am I changing my mind because what's best for me? So like in my head, I was like, I know I don't give up. Is this what I'm doing right now? Or, I
Yeah,
was
because
considering.
so here's another thing, right? From a biology point of view, we like to be consistent,
Yeah.
right? That's what kept us alive throughout billions of years. That's just how biology works, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how evolution works. So when we think we're not being consistent, that really scares us. Think
Yeah.
about it. You wake up every day, you get up from your bed, you want to feel the ground there every day. That's
yeah.
consistency. If you don't feel the ground when you get out of your bed, you're going to freak out.
Yeah.
So we really want to be consistent all the time, but nowadays it's like we have to really be careful with that
Yeah.
because it can become really, really unhealthy. I've watched some videos and I've seen that even some people use that to manipulate other people. Like they use things that you've said before to manipulate you, but you said
yeah.
this, and then you put them against their own word so you can convince them to do things because people like to be consistent. But that
Straight
can get
psychology.
really
Yeah.
that can get really tricky real fast.
Yeah, so like when I decided that I was gonna stop, I was like, okay, I gotta tell everybody now that I'm not playing football anymore, because I already told my coaches, I already told like all the people that follow me, all the people that I motivated to start playing football. How am I gonna say, all right, guys, I'm not playing the sport anymore, but you do your thing? Like that was very hard for me because I had like tons of messages, like dozens of people, like, oh, you're my
That you were
inspira-
motivating,
Yeah.
like people looked up to you,
Yeah, like,
especially in Brazil.
You're my inspiration. Like you are in the US playing football. I want to go to the
As a
NFL as well.
Brazilian. Oh
yeah,
my
like a lot
God.
of Brazilians are like, I want to go to the NFL. I live in like a small town in Brazil. I just started playing for this team. I want to do what you did.
And then you see this world collapsing.
Yeah, and I was like,
Ah.
am I doing this or am I giving up because I consider like I'm doing this actually because I want to protect my health, or it's just me faking to myself because it's too hard and I'm giving up. And after like this mental battle for a couple weeks, like I realized and I'm clear to myself that I want to protect my health and the sport. I love the sport, but the consequences and the risks are higher than the benefits for me.
Yes.
So in my head, it was clear for me that, okay, I did everything I could, but this...
And it also is never a waste. Like, that built you.
No. I
Yeah.
never think of waste, no.
Of
And
course.
all the people I helped to like play the sport and
Yeah.
like...
I'm sure there's people playing
Yeah.
Brazil right now
Yeah.
as we're talking here.
Mhm.
And, like, there's people out there that is playing. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, if I never followed that guy on TikTok, I wouldn't be doing this.
Exactly. So,
So-
I'm glad I did all that. And when I stopped playing, I let the coaches know, like, I'll just focus on my education. I didn't know about triathlon yet.
So that's when you shifted more to your academics.
Yeah. I was like,
Okay.
I wanna switch my major to dietetics. I want to become a dietitian, and dietitian is a nutritionist, but a certified nutritionist. Like, you
Yeah.
actually
Is it a different major?
nutritionist is not like a...
So nutrition, because people is there such a thing such as a nutrition major?
Yeah. You have a dietetics pathway to be a registered dietitian. So
Okay.
you're not a doctor, but you are qualified to give nutritional advice. You can create meal plans. You can help someone, actually patients with like diseases related to like nutrition. A nutritionist is someone that just did a certificate, like a couple months certificate, and he cannot create you a meal plan, but he can just guide you. So it's very vague. In the academy is very hard to define.
Yeah.
So if you want to become an actual dietitian, you gotta go to school for that. And right now, how it works is you need to do a 4-year bachelor's, a 2-year master's, and 1-year internship.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a 7-year career
Program.
Yeah, program.
Oh my God.
So you got to do a 1-year supervised internship in the end.
And the regular nutrition is just a course, you said?
There, dietetics pathway. That's what I'm doing. That's
Yes.
the 7 years. There is nutrition science, which is just a bachelor's, 4-year bachelor's, and you can work in the food industry, maybe research. A lot of people do that. Nick Bear did this. He's a guy that I look up to. He did nutrition science, and he created his supplement brand, BPN, but he's not a dietitian. And the other major is food science, which is similar to nutrition science. It's more like in-depth, like research thing. And
more in the lab kind of scenario.
Yeah, in dietetics, it's like you actually want to apply that and help other people, like
Tell people what to eat.
Yeah, actively
And
do
when
that.
to eat.
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
That's what I decided I want to do. Like, with all my experiences, like in my life, I want to be like actually certified to help other people, like to change their lives through lifestyle and to diet, because I know how, not diet, but like eating healthier and like playing a sport and going outside, how that changed my life from when I was a 12-year-old, like just sedentary and just playing video games all day. I want to help people to do
Get
that.
out of that.
Yeah, to do that to themselves. And we'll get to triathlon that it helps in this as well.
So
What are some things that you would really limit? Like when you're eating, what are things that you avoid?
So right now I do like a if it fit your macros diet. So it's not like rice and chicken like a bodybuilder. I have a lot of like flexibility, and with triathlon, that's what I do now. You spend way more calories, so you need to eat a lot more. But I try to like keep added sugars low, and in the United States it's kind of hard because
Everything's processed.
Everything's processed. There are added sugars, so added sugars I try to keep low. A lot sodium now, as like for triathletes you need to eat a lot of sodium because you sweat a lot. But like for just normal people that are trying to go to the gym and get fitter, you need to control your sodium, because if you eat out all the time, there's a lot of sodium in the food. It's very like greasy foods. If you go to a restaurant, they put a lot of oil and that kind of stuff. So you got to be careful with like fats, sodium, and added sugar. That's like the main things in US mainly. And I'm also doing a research paper on the sugar epidemic here in US, and like how companies are just adding more and more sugar.
Also because it's addicting, right?
Yeah, because like sugar is addicting the brain. There's a off topic. There's a study. I forgot the guy who did this study, but like he got lab rats and he put like a little tap with water and cocaine and another tap with water and sugar. And the rats,
Don't even tell me they did the same thing.
and the rats, they like drank both.
Yeah.
And they saw that they preferred the water with sugar than the water with cocaine.
Wow.
This is just a basic on the study, but there is an actual study about this. And like it just shows how addictive sugar is, because like if the rats preferred sugar than cocaine,
then it's pretty addictive.
there's something in the brain that just gives you dopamine, like pleasure. You need more of this. So that's something that I always tell people, like, to
Watch out for.
yeah, like, look the nutrition package, the nutritional label of the food, see added sugars, because sometimes you're eating bread or like a mac and cheese, something is not sweet, but there is a lot of sugar. So that's what I try to like guide people.
So how did you transition from up north, Ohio, to Florida?
So I stopped playing football in like October. I told my coaches, and I was like, okay, I'll just end the semester here and transfer, see what I'll do. I even considering going back to Brazil, because at the time I didn't know triathlon. So I was like, okay, I'm not playing football anymore. Does that mean I don't need to be in the US anymore? Because the only reason I got here was to play football.
Yeah.
And those 2 months that I had left, November, December, for the first semester of college, I was like, okay, I cannot just stay here doing nothing because I'm not playing anymore. So I started running. So every day I woke up from
Just
like,
running.
yeah,
Just
like,
to be doing something.
yeah, like I went to the treadmill. I was like, I woke up every day like 5:30 just to have a routine.
Just to stay busy.
Yeah, because I got like a lot of anxiety when I stopped playing football,
Oh.
because like my life changed so much.
Constant practice,
Yeah.
constant exercise
Like,
too.
I wanted to
Avoid.
go to the NFL. I had my life set up in my mind.
And then it all collapsed.
Okay, it's not this anymore. What I'm doing. So I was like, okay, I will switch my major to dietetics. I was trying to like pick up the pieces and okay, what I'll do with my life, because when I stopped playing football, it wasn't like, oh, I give up everything. It was okay. Now I'll use the same dedication and discipline I had in bodybuilding and football into something else. I will still have the same purpose in life, that it was always to help other people with what I can give. With I have the best, I can
Help them
people.
change themselves.
Yeah. So I started running and enjoyed the sport of running. And in December, I went back for Christmas in Brazil. And my friend Enrique, that lives with me right now, he was like, yo, I'm going to college in US. I'm going to Utah. You want to join me? I was like, well, I don't need to be in Iowa anymore. Let's do it. So we transferred to Utah.
Just to be together.
Yeah, just so we could room together. Like, it would be a fun experience, like going to college in Utah. I was already a dietetics major, so I was doing dietetics in Utah. And in 2023, we stayed there studying. It's a school called Snow College, 1 hour and 30 minutes from Salt Lake City. Like, dude, in the middle of nowhere, just mountains and snow.
You're in all these places, Canada, now Utah.
Yeah.
Are you snowboarding at all in this, or skiing?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you are into the
Yeah,
snow sports?
In Utah, we went snowboarding like 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
And I'm not good at it, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So there, I was still like lifting. I was learning about hybrid training, which is mixing endurance with strength training, because there's one side of things like bodybuilders, just strength training, power lifters, that you just lift and you don't do much cardio, or like you don't do another sport.
Not high intensity cardio or
yeah.
not super long.
So you work a lot on your muscles, but that's it. And there's also the other side of the coin, that's like runners or people that just
Marathon runners.
just do endurance, but don't look too much to like the strength training and gym, like lifting sessions. But
So those are those skinny guys that can run forever.
yeah, exactly. And I was trying to find a mix between both, because I like to be muscular. I like the aesthetics of it. I didn't want to just switch to running. So I started watching Nick Bear. He's the founder of BPN Subs. And he got a YouTube channel. He's very motivational. And he was one of the first hybrid athletes that I found. And he was like teaching people.
So hybrid is this intersection
Yeah.
between doing both,
Yeah,
right?
hybrid is like mixing endurance training, which can be swimming, running, cycling, everything that's getting your endurance performance better, and lifting. That's strength training. So that's just a mixture between both, and that's what they call hybrid athletes.
Something
now.
I always think of with the whole hybrid athletes thing is one of my actual personal strength coach. When for football, he still was the strength coach for the high school team. Coach Tim, shout out Tim. And what he would always say is, do you want to look like the marathon runner, like someone who runs 5, 10, 15, and then up to a marathon, 26 miles? Or do you want to look like the 100-meter sprinter?
Yeah.
And those guys are jacked, muscles, out of everywhere, muscles you didn't even think of. And then the guys that ran the marathons, of course, there's sports for everything, but like you were saying, skinnier.
Yeah,
Yeah, who do you want to look like? hybrid athlete.
That's it. And
Now we
like,
have Jill that runs all the 30 kilometers that the skinny guy runs, but looks like the jack dude from the 100 meters.
that's the principle.
That's the
That's crazy.
craziest part.
Yeah.
I bet you have to eat a lot to keep all that.
Yeah, that's like the principle of hybrid training, and I learned that in Utah when I was with him in spring 2023. And I didn't know about triathlon. I was just running at the time, and we were like, okay, when we go back to Brazil in the summer, let's do a 10K. And that was the first official run that I did, official race that I did, a 10K. And we stayed for one semester in Utah. How we got to Florida was actually because we came here on spring break.
Yeah, to visit us.
Yeah. we came here on spring break because Enrique had friends over here, and we were like, okay, let's go to Orlando. So as soon as we landed here, we're like, okay, we need to live here. Like,
We're in the wrong
like,
place of the
like
country.
Florida's
Yeah.
the place to be. So that's just how we got to Orlando now. But we finished our semester in Utah. We got to Brazil, did the 10K, and I was like, okay, I fell in love with this. Like, I love running and just like challenging yourself, because the sport of running or triathlon, like once you finish the race, you're like it's just like so much like pleasure and like achievement that you feel. Like, oh, I did all the training and now like I hit a PR, or I was able to cross the finish line. And all the people that are there, like you need to listen to all their stories, like, because every single person that's running a race, there's a reason why they're there. Like
That's what I find so
Yeah,
impressive.
you don't get there accidentally. You don't do a marathon accidentally.
Yeah, like
Whether it's people running for someone else that has passed,
Exactly.
or someone with a chronic disease.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So you're mentioning the feeling after you're crossing the finish line. Now, what about the feeling? You always hear people say stuff about runner's high. What is that exactly? And do you feel that?
You mean runner's what?
Runner's high. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, like that you get
Runner's
addicted to?
high.
Yeah, that is true.
Like while you're running, after you,
Yeah.
maybe for one person it might be a shorter distance, but say after 2 miles, I'm in this zone where I can't stop.
Yeah.
I don't think about running, one
Yeah.
step at a time. Move.
That's why I think it's so addicting, and that's a thing about triathlon as well. Like I did this 5K in May. Did pretty good. I think it was like 47 minutes, good pace for my first one. Didn't have a coach at the time, was just training by myself. And I was like, okay, I did a 5K now in May. I'm in Brazil now. I think I'll do a half marathon. That's a 21K. That's like twice the distance. So I registered for my first half marathon, São Paulo City half marathon in July 20, something like that. And I was like, okay, I'll try to get real with this and maybe actually dedicate
Do well.
to this. Yeah. And I started training. I got like some workouts online. I didn't have a coach yet. And I did the São Paulo half marathon in July. And it was like, dude, okay, I'll go all in this kind of thing. I'll just dedicate everything.
And you kept lifting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're lifting and running, and running.
And it was hard for me in the beginning because like, how do I do leg days? Because I gotta be able to run. So I just started to like do my research, follow like Nick Bear and all other hybrid athletes and how they do it. So as of right now, I only lift twice a week, just like to maintain and to do like injury prevention exercises. I do a lower body day, like a leg day, and an upper body lift. Yeah, just like what we did last week.
Yeah. We hit upper body.
Yeah, and
It was intense, bro. It's a long workout too.
Yeah.
Because you gotta hit chest, back,
Exactly.
shoulders, tries, buys. So
That's
yeah,
a long
Yeah.
lift.
yeah.
So that's what I started doing. Like, okay, I cannot go until failure on my leg days because I need to be able to run tomorrow. So I learned to do like low reps, like 6, 7, 8 reps and a lot of weight. So I could build strength, but not exactly like a lot of muscle. And I could still build muscle, but my diet was based to like just
Maintaining
Yeah.
your shape and
Yeah.
while
Are
improving
you
your
swimming
endurance.
yet in this?
No. In July, I didn't know about triathlon yet.
Okay.
And so I was just running. I was like, okay, I'll just keep doing this. Me and Enrique were transferring to Florida to go to Valencia here in Orlando. I'll just keep running and studying dietetics. That's what I'll do. I'll try to post more on social media, motivate people to do this as well.
Yeah, because this hybrid thing is also something that's not popular.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, it's more popular here than in Brazil.
Yeah.
But it's not super popular overall. But in
Yeah.
Brazil, like, I think people never heard of it really, right?
Yeah, in Brazil, there are other names for it, but it's not very known. But
It's getting better
yeah,
now. Like,
yeah.
I've seen more people now doing it.
Yeah.
But also not super popular.
Yeah, like now it's getting known in Brazil, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like I make content both in English and in Portuguese. Also because I'm an ambassador for Raw, as you said. So
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
I gotta make the content in English as well, because I'm trying to get people from the US to follow. But yeah, like a lot of people in Brazil are like, oh, so how do you run a half marathon, but you're also like, you have muscles and you lift? And I'm like, okay, this is what I do. This is called hybrid training. And studies say that it's the best way to achieve longevity, because you're building muscle, you're building strength, you're building bone density, you're improving your bone density, but you're also improving your cardiovascular capacity, your respiratory capacity. So it's the best way
Most complete approach.
It's the most complete, like, to perform in everything, because I didn't want to be a huge bodybuilder anymore and like not be able to run a mile, or just be too skinny and like not look good or like feel good about myself.
So mobility meant a lot to you, being able to not just be like a robot.
Exactly. I wanted to perform, and that was what I was doing. So I did São Paulo City half marathon. 2 weeks after, I was like, let me make this harder. I'll do a I'll
Too easy. Yeah, half a marathon and lifting.
No, like, you got addicted. You always want more. As soon as you finish, you cross the finish line. You're like, okay, what's the next race? And then 2 weeks later, I found a half marathon on the beach, like on the sand. So it was like 13 miles on the sand, running in the beach in Santos in Brazil. And I was like, okay,
that sounds hard.
Yeah, it is, because the sand, like, it's not
absorbs you almost. It takes. It's like,
imagine 13 kilometers.
13 miles. It's a 21K.
21K.
Yeah.
On sand.
Yeah.
13 miles on sand.
And
oh
like
my god.
The sand is not like asphalt. It's kind of harder because
of course
it's not very like.
Yeah, it's hard.
Are you running with shoes or are you running barefoot?
No, shoes. Yeah, I ran. Some people use like more track, like off-road shoes, but I wore the same ones that I wore for the half marathon, with carbon-plated ones.
Dude, your legs were probably.
Yeah. And like, you gotta be careful, because if you hit like a spot in the sand that's like a hole, you might get injured really easy.
Yeah.
So, but everybody that I met there, like, I met a lot of people, and they're like ultra runners, because there are a lot of ultra runners in Brazil, and they're like, oh no, I'm just doing this half marathon as a training because next week I got a 100K run. I was like, you're crazy.
Oh my god.
So every time you're starting to get better, you're like, there are people that are doing twice what you're doing. So, and that's good motivation. Like, once you meet these people, you're like, wow, I'm dying to do 21K. This guy is just a workout for him. How do I get to that point? It's possible. If he did it, I can do it. And that's what I try to do to other people. Like, people might see me doing what I do, like, oh, you're crazy, you're doing triathlon, and I'm like, I'm not special or anything. I just decided to do it, and I trained for it. Like, we can all do it if you want to.
I'm just a normal guy.
Yeah, I'm not gifted. I don't have anything special. I just like this and want to motivate other people to do it, because like, I want someone to look at me and like, okay, this guy's doing an Ironman. Why am I not able to do a 30-minute run? I think I can do this. So they go do it. And nowadays I got a lot of messages of people like, oh, I see your videos and I just hit a massive workout today. It was great. I feel great. I think I'll start doing this. And like, this is triathlon. And we're gonna get there now, because
how did you hear of triathlon?
Yeah, so Enrique, he liked to watch triathlon. That's my best friend from Brazil. Yeah, my roommate. And he was like, let's start training for it, because he trained for it a little bit in Brazil. And I was like, I'm running. I'm a terrible swimmer, and I never biked like for competition, but I'll do it. I think it's gonna be a great journey. So I hit up Will Horkoff. Shout out Will. He's my coach and a great friend of mine. We're gonna race together in May. And he created this team in athlete coaching, and I hit him up. I was like, hey, I run. I come from a football background. I'm trying to do this hybrid athlete thing. He's also a hybrid athlete. I'm trying to transition to triathlons. Like, can you help me out with this? And he was like, yeah. So I pay him every month. Like, he has a coaching program, and we just set up like, okay, let's do this triathlon thing. So when I got here to Orlando in August of last year, 2023, I started swimming. I go to the gym, go use the pool, and it was hard, dude. Like, the first day
swimming.
The first day I went to swim. Like,
have you ever done like any swimming classes before? Like,
when I was 5. Like,
okay,
like when your parents tell you
make
to go,
you do it.
Like, so the first day I swam, I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. 25 yards, like dying, dude. I was almost,
and you had already ran like a 21. It's like a different cardio.
Yeah, like in the triathlon, the swimming is the first one, but like I never trained for it, so it was the first time getting to the pool. So for 25 yards, I was drowning. I was like, dude,
Drowning.
if I cannot do 25 yards or 25 meters, how am I doing a race that's like the smallest, the shortest race is like a 400-meter swim. That's the sprint triathlon. And I want to do Ironmans. That's like a 1.1 mile swim. No, that's a 2.2 mile swim. And if I cannot swim 25 meters, how I'll do like 400 meters at least. And I was like, okay, this is going to be tough. But as everything I did, I will start from zero as I did in football. I didn't know anything about the sport, but I will learn.
So how did you learn how to swim more efficiently? Like, did you watch videos?
So yeah, because I never had Will was my coach, but he lives in Canada. He lives in Calgary, 1 hour from the city that I went for my exchange program.
That's crazy. What a small world.
Small world, yeah. And I never met him in person. So in the pool, it was just me. I sent him some videos, and he just tells me, oh, do this, your form is like that. But that's something that I still struggle. As of right now, I don't have a swimming coach with me in the pool. So I just learn from my own mistakes and try to get better.
Videos and hints.
Yeah, but I'm still considered like I'm not a good swimmer for like actual triathletes. Like my pace in
But for
race.
normal people.
Yeah.
For us,
Yeah.
mortals.
Or like, so in triathlon, like a good pace would be like, let's say 140, 150 minutes per 100 meters. I'm doing like 220. Still all right, but that's something that I want to improve a lot. So August, I started swimming and biking.
When you started swimming, though, did
Wow.
you notice you had to eat a little bit more? Because being in the water, your body's fighting to keep it at 98.6. So did your calories increase as you're starting to swim?
Yeah, since I started triathlon, like
Overall, I bet you.
like you gotta eat way more because you're doing at least 2 hours of workouts every day, and Saturdays and Sundays it's like 3 or 4 hour bike with a 1 or 2 hour run. Like I'm having to eat like 4,000 calories just to keep my weight. But you also see a lot of changes in the physique. Like I was starting to not be like that huge guy anymore. You've ever seen Wreck-It Ralph? I was like, dude, just huge. And I was becoming more like aesthetic and leaner, but
More
like
aesthetic.
still strong. So that's what I think it's aesthetic and it's nice, and you also feel good.
No, yeah, we were able to see the difference here, like the photos for football. Like,
I was
versus
way
this.
bigger in football, and this is a Olympic triathlon I did here in Clermont. So triathlons, there's a lot of.
So how is your head? Like, let's say you're about to run 21 miles. I mean, no, 21 K.
Yeah.
And then swim another 1 mile, and then bike another 80. That was the
So-
half Ironman,
So
right?
what
That's
is this?
the longest
This
one.
is
you
the
did.
Ironman that.
So a triathlon from the very beginning. Triathlon is swim, bike, run in this order. So the first and the shortest distance of a triathlon is a sprint triathlon, which is 400 meter swim. You get out of the water, go to the bike. It's a 20K bike, which is like 10 miles pretty much. Then get out of the bike, 5K run, 3-mile run. That's the sprint.
And what's a good time for that?
I never did a sprint, but I guess like an hour and 30. I'm not too sure. I mean, good times in triathlon is hard because you're trying to be like the pros, or you're trying to, because it's very like
Just the average.
Yeah, it's like you against you.
Yeah.
But that's the sprint. An Olympic triathlon, and it's called Olympic because it's what's in the Olympics. That's the distance in the Olympics. It's 1,500 meter swim, so around like a mile swim. Then a 40K bike and a 10K run, and that's what I did in this picture. That's Clermont here.
Oh, so that was
For
the Olympic
context,
distance.
Yeah, this
How tough is it to swim a mile? Because I don't think people realize how
like
long and hard that is.
yeah, like in the pool, it's easier because you're like in a controlled environment. But once you get like
In
to
the ocean,
in
that's
the
what you're
ocean
doing.
Water.
or the lake, like there's a lot of people, dude. You get hit in the face because someone's swimming in front of you. You hit someone accidentally. Like it's just a war
That's
in
so
the water,
distracting.
and you get like anxious because you're like I can breathe, and like you do 1 arm, 2 arm, breathe. Every 2 you breathe.
Yeah.
But if when you're breathing, someone just hits you, you're not able to breathe in that one.
Because it covers your face.
Yeah.
with
So
the-
you're like, it messes
It
up your
screws
whole,
up your rhythm.
Yeah. So your whole rhythm, and you're just like panicking. Like in my first, I did an aquathlon. That was
Dude,
my.
That's the kind of stuff you don't think about.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna breathe. Imagine.
Yeah.
You're already dead tired, and
then
you're like,
I
"This is the
smack
one chance I have to breathe." Nope.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
not breathing. Not happening.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for all these
What are these
situations.
differences between freshwater swimming and saltwater swimming?
So
Do you find it harder in one as opposed to the other?
I feel like this is not science based. It's just what I feel, that like salt water is more like heavy, like in the ocean. And I will do a half Ironman in Panama City Beach in May, and that will be my first saltwater race. I only practice in saltwater, but I like lakes more. I think the water you can like swim smoother in the water, and there are also waves in the ocean, like which makes it way harder. You just get hit in the face by a wave.
I also want. So when you're swimming in these oceans or even lakes, are you scared of what's underneath you? Gators, sharks.
Lakes, I would be very scared, especially in Florida.
Yeah, like here in Florida, I go to 2 lakes. One in Claremont, that's where that race was, and one in Lake Virginia by Rollins College in Orlando. There are some signs like watch out for gators, so I'm kind of scared. But I still go because...
But the gator's scared of him, too.
Like, the first day that I went to...
Dude, this time... There was one time I went to a park with him. He looked at a gator. He's like, dude, look at that lizard.
No, dude.
Like, did you just call that a lizard?
No, dude, like, this lake that I go to here in Orlando, the first time I went there, I saw a triathlete getting out of the water, and I was like, yo, is it all right to swim this lake? There are gators. And he was, for a couple of years, no one's seen any. So I don't think they are. And I was like, okay. And he also says that there are some very rich people that live around the lake, and I don't know how they do it, but they scan the lake. They go with boats in the lake and scan for gators.
Oh.
I don't know how they do it, but just to make it clean so like their kids can swim
So
the lake.
that lake is like in the neighborhood.
Expected to be clear.
Yeah. Like
snakes, gators.
Yeah, there are signs just in case.
Yeah, because you can't control that.
Yeah,
right? What if they come in? And...
So I always go there for open water swims, and sometimes when I'm in the water, I kind of hear the. I don't know if that's, I never know if that's a snake or if that's like a, I don't know, like something like a mechanism or to clean the lake. Like I do hear like that. I just turn around. I'm not paying to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's swim, and in the first times that you're doing open water is harder because you cannot see underneath you. So it's not
because on the pool you have that line.
Yeah, you have the line
track, and you can see where
so
you're
like,
going. How do you make sure you don't go off to the side? Oh, they put the.
Do they put buoys?
Yeah, there are buoys. So like in open water, you need to like in the pool you just swim looking down. In open water, you gotta swim, and every couple of strokes, you gotta look up to see the buoy and keep going. And that also slows you down a little bit when you look up in the water. So you gotta have a good technique to do that. But once you get used to it, I think it's more fun.
Which part do you think is the hardest? The biking, the swimming, or the running part?
For me, I mean, not hardest.
I know they're all probably tough,
Yeah, like
but I'm saying, what is the one that you're like, gosh,
Like once you get through this, it's like, okay, I'm good because I did the hardest part.
The swim for sure.
The swim?
Yeah, because
that's good, that's
and you get that out first, yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm a bad swimmer because also this is the thing about hybrid athlete. I'm not a pro triathlete. Like it's in between. If one day I'm like, okay, I want to become... So
you have disadvantage on both
sides.
Yeah,
if I want to become a pro triathlete, then I'll have to give up a little bit on lifting and be skinnier because that's the shape you need to be the fastest as possible. But because like the more muscle you have, the more heavy.
The less aerodynamic.
Yeah, and more heavier in the water, so you just start sinking. But I'm like, once I get through the swim, I can bike.
Now, what's an Ironman?
So
what is that?
Exactly, we were in the Olympic tri. That was the distance for Olympic tri. Yeah. The next one is a half Ironman. That's a 70.3. That's the one I did in Clash Daytona. I got the medals here.
Yo, let's see it. So that was the longest one you've done so far.
Yeah. You want me to get all the medals?
Yes, let's see them.
Let's see them.
So this was the half Ironman you did?
Yeah.
In Daytona.
Oh,
yeah, this was in Daytona Beach.
Now you did that on the Speedway. And,
yeah.
So.
Oh, even the thing.
A NASCAR Speedway, the incline is insane.
Yeah.
How is it running around that crazy gradual steep hill?
Yeah, this one was my first triathlon.
That's super heavy.
And it was a half Ironman. I was like, I'm doing triathlon. I have 4 months. I like from the beginning, from not knowing to swim at all in August, I was like, I want to do a half Ironman in December. So I had 4 months to swim almost 2 kilometers, bike 90 kilometers, and run.
It's like 40 something miles.
Yeah,
that's
56
crazy.
miles.
Wow.
And run a 21K, a half marathon, and that's the half Ironman.
All at once. Oh
all
my
at once.
God.
That's the half.
So
Ironman.
my question is, how is your head 30 seconds before the race begins. So you have your cap, you're about to go in the water, you're about to jump in the water. I have 2 questions, actually. I'm just going to ask them together, and then you can go over it. So you're 30 seconds in, and you're like, okay, I'm about to do this. I'm about
for
to...
the next, 12, 10
yeah, how
hours.
many hours is that? Like, about more than 10 hours.
So a half Ironman, it's a half distance of the Ironman. And it's, as I said, 1.1 mile swim, 90K bike, and 20K run. I was trying to go sub 6 hours.
Oh my God.
I mean, for a first timer...
People don't even finish, half marathons.
Yeah.
They just start.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sometimes in that time.
6
Full
hours.
marathons.
Yeah,
That's
for,
crazy.
for first timers, like a sub 6 is really good. And I had 4 months like from scratch to become like a half arm, like to do a half arm. And that was another episode where I'm like, oh, all right, I got 4 months.
Yeah,
crazy.
Another clock. You like to give yourself a little heart
like,
attack.
Those are the best things in life. Like once you think you cannot do it, that's when you know it's a good challenge.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing things that you already know you're gonna do it, it's not fun.
So back to the question. It's like, okay, so what are you thinking right there, right before they say go?
Yeah.
And also, how does that relate to the last 30 seconds when you see the line coming? So that's I want you to take us through like exactly what's going through your head when you're about to start this and you're like, okay, for the next 6 hours I'm gonna be doing high intensity training. That's probably a crazy feeling.
Yeah.
And compare that to the last 30 seconds when you're arriving at that final line and you're like, I did it. How's that moment?
So before the race, I have done some mock 70.3s. That's what we do like a couple weeks before. You just do the distances in training so you are comfortable that you can do it. So I knew I could swim 1.1 mile because I did it before. But like when you got your cap on, they have some different lanes before the start. So like if you're a fast swimmer, you're in the front. If you're like, they have the times, okay, 30 minutes, 35, 40. And I was in the last lane because
it was your first time.
yeah, I was like, I don't know if I can do this like fast. So
And you don't want to slow people down.
Yeah, exactly. So I was in the 45-minute plus swim group, and it was like me and 4 other people. We were literally the last people because everybody was in front because Clash Daytona, this race was a USA National Championship long course. So there were a lot of good people there, and it was a Team USA qualifier race.
Watching you guys.
Yeah. So it was my first time, but it was already a high-level competition. And, I wasn't there to compete against other people, but...
To prove to yourself that you could do it.
Yeah, and just to show that it was like a good level of competition. And right before getting in the water, put my cap on, put my goggles, turn the watch on because you need to have your pace and everything in the watch. And I was like, okay, it's time. I've been doing this for 4 months. Like I dedicated like 12 hours every week of training, 12, 14 hours of training every week.
For this very moment.
Just for this. And like, I got goosebumps. Like, it was so intense. And Enrique was there with me. Like I dapped him. I was like, yo, brother, you got this. And he was helping me a lot. Like,
are you thinking of the whole distance that you gotta do, or
Or
are
you
you
breaking it
just
up?
thinking like, I just gotta swim?
at the time, like
When you have the cap, like
yeah.
what is it actually?
Like once I'm about to get in the water, I'm like, okay, I gotta swim this. I'm not thinking about the bike. I'm not thinking about the run. It's okay, I gotta swim. And
Just gotta
it was a lake inside the NASCAR speedway in Daytona. So it's called Lake Lloyd, I think. So you just go, turn, and go back, and you go to the transition. So it's like a loop in the lake.
Oh, like a U-turn.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a massive
like a
swimming
1.1
turn.
mile swim. So I got in the water. I was just taking my pace. I was trying not to overdo it because in training I was going too fast and you kind of lose your breath. I was like, okay, I'll just take my time. So a lot of people were just in front of me. I passed some people because I was the last one.
Yeah.
And I did better than I thought I would because I was in the 45-minute group and I ended in like 42 minutes. So I ended up passing a lot of people, and it felt great. Like the swim, the water was great. The weather was great of the day. So I was just enjoying the swim.
Do you think of anything else? Probably not, right? Like when you're there swimming, you're
Dude.
not thinking about assignments.
Actually,
you're not
like in the swim, just because like you're looking down, it's just pitch black. I kind of got distracted a little bit, and that slows you down. So you gotta be focused. But I'm
you gotta connect.
All right,
to
so
your
what
body.
what I ate yesterday, you're just swimming and just thinking about some random stuff. And like, oh shit, I'm in a race. I need to go fast. So and
Do you
I
ever-
brought my swimsuit here.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's check it out.
This is my tri-suit.
So this is what you
This
wear.
is what I wear.
Oh
yeah,
my god!
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the inner athlete tri-suit.
Okay.
And it's like lycra. It's very thin, and you just wear that because it's more aerodynamic.
With what?
Ooh.
Resilience on the side.
Yeah, resilience. Yeah, that's
Like
my
that.
coach's idea.
Oh yeah, it says here the inner
Yeah, inner athlete.
athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
And you just wear this.
Whoa. I feel like if I put this on, I get 10 times faster just because
Yeah,
it's his.
yeah. This is the tri-suit. And on top of the tri-suit, we put a wetsuit.
Oh my god, that's thick.
Yeah. Be careful
Let's
there.
see. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's also. Oh my
Yeah.
god, this feels like it would get hot in here.
Yeah, oh yeah, it does.
Like
it
it's
does.
super
because
thick.
this is for cold weather, and also makes you like it helps with buoyancy in the water, so you go faster. I think this is similar to
Oh.
what surfers
Right.
use. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we put this on top of the tri-suit.
That's
So
really
if you
cool.
don't swim, this keeps you above water, correct?
Yeah, it helps you. I mean,
No, it doesn't
like a
keep
light-
you.
no,
You
no,
will
yeah.
still sink, right?
Yeah, it's not. No, it's
some
not like
life
a,
jackets.
No, it's
But
not. It's
or-
not the same
not a
as life jacket.
Well, wetsuit wise, there are wetsuits that I've been in that keep you above. So
Yeah.
this isn't one that does that.
I mean, you can if you just stay in the water, you're gonna sink.
Sink.
But it helps with buoyancy a little bit. Like when you're swimming, you feel you don't need to make that much effort to breathe because you're already above the water with your head.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
So it does help with that, and it makes you faster.
So you put it over.
Yeah, on top of the
But
tri-suit.
why would you wear both?
Because in the race you need the tri-suit, and you don't have time to like wear this, take it out, put the tri-suit on. Like the transition is still time of the race. So
Oh, it doesn't pause your time for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because otherwise you could just rest.
yeah, exactly.
During the transition.
Yeah, I mean you can, but you're just
It's gonna count.
all the like I did the half Ironman in 5 hours 23 minutes and 9 seconds, and that
So
counts.
that was way above, like under
Yeah.
6 hours.
Yeah,
which-
no, I did great. Like for my perspectives, and
For the first
yeah,
time.
I was very happy with that.
So when I've ran some races, nothing like you, but usually like I find myself sprinting to or going above what my pace should
Yeah.
be because it's the race and you feel a little bit better the
Yeah.
first few miles.
Yeah.
Do you find that for you?
Yeah, but you gotta be. That's why you gotta be very smart, mainly in these long distances, because, dude, as I'll go chronologically. So I finish the swim, you go to the transition. So you get out of the lake, go to the transition where your bike is, take off the wetsuit, just strip it off as fast as you
Okay.
can, put the cycling shoes on, a helmet, glasses, and you're ready for the bike.
I saw some videos of you doing that. I mean,
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
it quick.
Yeah, you gotta do it quick. I did it kind of slow. I did like in 4 minutes. I'm trying to do it in 2 in the next ones because it's like literally.
Every second.
Yeah,
matters.
yeah, exactly. And so transition, you get into the bike. It's a 90K bike. So I did in 2 hours and 42 minutes, cycling nonstop. So you cannot give your life in the first minutes, otherwise your legs gonna be tired. You're gonna be fried, and you.
And then
cannot
you gotta
finish.
run 21.
Exactly. So there's a lot of thinking into it. It's not just okay, I'm fit, I'm gonna do it. No, you gotta.
You're going in knowing exactly what
You
your
gotta
pace
prepare. You gotta. Okay, this is what I'm doing. This is the.
That's why you have the watch too, right? Because you.
Yeah, you
That's
got-
a number version of how intense you're
Yeah,
going, so you can actually
Yeah.
see how hard you're going.
You gotta know the pace. Some people use bike monitors so you can see the power you're going. I don't have one because it's super expensive, but I'm trying to get one, so you can see the watts that you're pushing in the bike.
Wow.
And I just go with my watch because I can see the speed. So I'm trying to maintain like a 21 mile per hour speed in the race. But I kind of did. Oh yeah, my fault.
You're good.
So I kind of did something not wrong, but I went all in the bike, and you need to know you're gonna run 13 miles after that. So my legs were in pain when I finished the bike. It was 2 hour 42 minutes. We did one lap in the speedway, but as you said, it's inclined. In the bottom, it's straight, so we didn't have problem with the incline of the speedway. So you did one lap, get out of Daytona Beach, go to another town through I-92, I believe.
Running.
No, bike. That's
Oh,
on the
bike.
bike. So you do a lap in the bike in the speedway, which is awesome because the asphalt in the speedway is like made for you to go fast because it's asphalt for car races. So
That's
it was
super cool.
beautiful. Yeah, like a lot of people hit PRs in this race because it's flat as it can be. It's like the best place to hit a PR because it's so flat. So we did a lap in the speedway, hit the road with the bike, 50 something miles in the road, go back another mile in the speedway, and that's your bike. You're done. Also, it's important to tell that in the bike we need to do nutrition as well. So I have 2 bottles with me with like 150 grams of carbs. Like,
Yeah, because you're 6 hours, you're gonna pass out.
Yeah.
Like,
Is this
yeah.
this gel that you were?
yeah, yeah.
oh yeah,
I got-
so
I got
you
the
have
gel.
some. He
Yeah,
came
yeah.
prepared. He came
I
prepared.
brought everything. So these are the carb gels that we have. I don't know if the camera gets it. Yeah, these are the carb gels that we got, and these are basically carbohydrates.
see.
Some of them they got electrolytes, which is sodium, because the most you sweat, you're losing salts, and you gotta replenish these salts. So before the swim, I take a gel that's like 20 grams of carbs. In transition, I take another gel, and maybe some water or some juice.
I know some people take what, mustard packets. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, because there's a lot of sodium.
Sodium.
Yeah, I take some like orange juice or like a very sweet juice because it's sugar. So when I'm in the bike, that's when you intake the most
Because
carbs.
you're sitting down.
Because you're sitting down, so like digestion is not the worst when you're in the bike. And so I have 2 bottles with me. They have like 150 grams of carbs. I put
What about water? Do you drink a lot of water?
yeah. I'll get to that. So we have 150 grams of carbs in both bottles. Honey, I put like 10 grams of salt, like sugar, not sugar, like tablespoons of like salt, actual
Oh my
like
God,
kitchen
that's
salt.
a lot of
Yeah,
salt.
yeah, because I'm a big sweater, like, and for a guy my size, so I just need to replenish these salts. And I don't carry any water with me because in the race they have some water points where you just like put your hand out and they hand you water in the bike. Yeah, because I
Chug
don't
it and
have
throw it.
exactly because I don't have spaces in my bike. I only have 2 bottle holders, and I decided to use both for carbs because you need a lot of nutrition. So these gels, they go either in my tri-suit, there are some pockets, or in my bento
Wow.
box that I have in my bike. You want to show the picture of my bike, so just so I can point at it. So you put the gels in my bike or in my tri-suit. So right here, thank you. Behind my back, there are some pockets where I put gels. This is called a bento box, where you put some gels as well.
Wow.
And I have 2 bottle holders for my water
Just
or my
carbs.
nutrition. Yeah.
What is that you wear on your calf?
Oh, this is a calf sleeve. Some people say helps you make you faster. I didn't wear them for the half Ironman. This is the Olympic try. I wanted to see how it works.
Try it out.
Yeah, because sometimes the wind hits and like it says that it's more aerodynamic, and also it's compression sleeves in your calf. So in theory, you don't get that tired in the calves. You don't get like as heavy.
Promote a
heavy
little
legs.
bit more blood flow.
Yeah. So I was trying them out to see if I'd wear it in future
Did you
races.
feel a big difference or not?
Yeah,
really?
I liked it.
You liked it?
I might wear them again. And so this is the tri-suit, the bike. This bike, my coach sold me this. He used it in Texas, 70.3 Texas, which is going on today, by the way. I got friends racing today. So shout out to Hex Club, all my friends there.
Good luck, y'all.
Yeah, all my friends.
Is that an Ironman, like a full?
It's a 70.3. That's the half. That's the same one I
Oh,
did.
that's the half.
They're doing in Texas right now. So yeah, I'm excited.
So
for
you
them.
described how you feeling when you're going in the beginning.
Yeah.
How is the end?
Yeah.
When you see the line, you're like, okay, I'm about to cross the line. I did
Yeah.
it. Like, how is that last? Do you sprint? Like,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
is it the very like
It's fun,
last
like-
couple of seconds there?
So I'll get there. I'll finish the bike, and okay, done. In this race, I will get to your question.
That's
Sorry,
good.
I just want to
no, keep going. Yeah.
So I finished the bike. My leg hurts a little bit because I pushed like too strong, like very high gear in the bike, and I don't know if I should, but that's what I did. So I took some ibuprofen, like painkillers, in the transition. A lot of people don't like taking them because like digestion or like you get inflamed. I don't know. I just took it and I felt better. My legs stopped hurting. So okay, I went to the run, and I had these gels with me also in the run. I have some caffeine gels. I have like carbs, sodium, and caffeine, just to give you like a pump.
Little pickup.
Yeah, in the middle of the race. So that was a 13-mile run, and like I started a little bit faster than I should have because I was just like, so okay, I got on the bike. This is the last thing I gotta do, a run. But you don't think like I'll be running for almost 2 hours.
Also,
Because you stay like for so long in the bike. And off topic, I had a chemistry exam on the other day. I'm a full-time student. I had a final exam in the other day. So in the bike,
that's why you need Dash Academy, y'all.
yeah, exactly. He helped me to study for it. So I had an exam the next day. So in the bike, like it's 2 hours. So I was like, all right, so this is the formula for electrochemistry. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the bike. So I started studying in the bike.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like it's so long that you
You get bored.
It's
Do you
hard.
listen to music? I see that you're not wearing any headphones.
I don't.
That's
I don't
distracting?
think it's allowed. I don't think it is.
Oh, it's not allowed.
But it's also I wouldn't want to because you want to be present 100%. But yeah, finished the bike, started the run. I was feeling good. Legs were not hurting. Had the gels with me. Okay, now the run is 13 miles. It's loops in the speedway. The run is just in the speedway.
And it's just 13 loops.
No. It was 3 loops because it's a huge speedway.
Oh, okay.
So we did 3 loops in the speedway. The sun was out at this time because in the morning it was very cloudy. And I was telling everybody that I met, I was like, I wish it was sunny today just for the pictures, you know. And they were like, dude, you're crazy.
Don't wish that.
It's way harder to do it in like when it's sunny. So when it started the run, like the sun was out and it was hot.
Because how early are we talking?
The swim starts at 7. But we gotta wake up at like 3:30 to be there and prepare everything.
3:30 a.m.
Yeah, you wanna.
Oh my God.
You don't want any stress, so you.
What time do you go to sleep?
You try to go at like 10, but you know it's hard. You really have like short night of sleep, but you want to be very organized. Like, cause if you make a mistake, it's just gonna be in your mind, and you're gonna be stressed in the race. So, in the middle of the run, I was feeling good, but it got to a point that I was like, oh, I'm slowing down. My legs are so tired. And that's where the mental gets to you. Like, okay, I'm a David Goggins this like,
then you gotta just do it.
Yeah, and you see people like throwing up, just breaking. Because we call like when you break in the run, it's like you just cannot run anymore. You stop or you gotta rest for a little bit. And like just off the side, just like throwing up or just completely like tired. And you're like, I feel this because a half Ironman is already a long distance. And it got to a point where like, okay, it's me and like my mind. It's a battle now, and
it's not even the body at that point. It's just whether you can.
And I felt that like halfway through the run, so maybe like 6 miles to go, maybe 10K to go, and you're like, okay, I still got 10K. That's about an hour. That's it. I'm finishing this shit. And Enrique, my friend, he was a volunteer in this race, so he was handing water to people, Gatorades. So
no way.
I knew he was gonna be there, and when I saw him, I was like, dude, this is the last lap. And he was like, you better finish this shit. Like, let's fucking go. And he handed me a Gatorade. I was like, yo, let's do it.
That's
like,
all you needed.
That when you got like family, friends there with you, it's so much better.
Because again, it's all mental at that point. So that's a lot of mental support.
Your body's not work, because like we're not made to do these kinds of things. Like you train for it, but in the race, you're not made for it. Like you gotta use something else to, like, your mind is gonna be prepared to finish it. So last lap I was going.
So you're saying people throwing up and people, this is a 6-hour thing. I mean, even through a podcast that's usually 2 hours, sometimes we have to go use the bathroom. So, and that affects your time, I'm assuming, if you have to use the bathroom.
The bathroom is right there, bro. we piss in our pants.
Really?
That's triathlon. Yeah, that's the bathroom. Like, I forgot to mention that.
What if it's gotta be number 2?
Oh, then you gotta stop. But I don't want to mention that I saw some things happening there.
No, no way.
I saw a guy running with like
won't stop.
No, some people don't stop, or they just cannot control because like your body's so tired.
You
cannot
don't have control.
You cannot
don't have control on the nerves.
When you finish the race. I heard people that did full Ironmans, that twice the distance what I did. That did full Ironmans, they finished the race and they say like, I cannot take a piss, like I cannot go to the bathroom. Like, you finish the race, you can go to the bathroom. They can't because they cannot force to piss. Like,
oh my God,
like, because your body's so tired.
So people will do it right there.
Yeah,
even if it's number 2 sometimes.
Yeah, dude, I saw some people running with like stains in their back. Like, that can't be it. That can't be it. That can't be it.
I can't be that guy.
Yeah.
You're not just running 21K. You're 21K with piss on your pants.
Yeah.
And
no,
I don't even think I'd be able to finish. In my head, I'd be like, okay, everyone sees me. There's
a lot of cameras, and it probably like you can even hurt yourself. You can get burned.
Yeah. Some sort of rash.
It's worse than I thought.
That's why you got to be smart about nutrition every time, because if you eat something that doesn't go down well, like these gels are one of the best that I found. And I'll use them until Raw is gonna release their gels. For,
let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's just wrap up the line,
this race,
and then we're gonna talk about how with bodybuilding you didn't get robbed. Hybrid, you did.
Definitely.
That's crazy.
So wrapping up this race, you gotta be smart, as I said, with nutrition. Like, these gels are really good, But when Raw launches their gels, I'll use theirs.
Let's do it.
These SIO gels are really good because they're very watery and they digest very quick. So I'm glad I didn't feel any like discomfort or like digesting problems in the race. So, but I had to piss like 3 times in the bike. You just stop pedaling and a little bit, 10 seconds, all right, you're good to go. But you just do it right there, and you see people doing it. It's just normal in triathlon. Like once you heard like, okay, you're pissing yourself in the bike, that's weird. But in triathlon world, like it's just totally
It's
natural.
a whole different world.
yeah,
It's just
like
any other
number
sport.
number two is not normal, but
Yeah.
like pissing your pants, yeah, it's normal in triathlon, like in the lake or in the bike. In the run is hard. Like when you're running, it's hard to piss yourself. So you got to do it in the bike. But in the end of the run, like I got emotional, like, but I was like, I cannot cry because if you cry, it's gonna mess up my breathing, my pace, like, because I was like, I'm finishing this, like, 4 months, and I'm gonna cross the finish line way better than I thought I would because it was 5 hours, like low 5 hours, and damn, and I knew about the Team USA qualifying thing, but I never expected to qualify, and I'll get there. But
No way.
I finished. I crossed
You're,
the finish
you're
line.
telling me first. No, just keep going.
Yeah. So I finished. Enrique was there filming, hyped me up. I was like, damn. I started crying. I could not stop crying once I finished. It's like, I said that I was going to do this. I remember about the football time, those times that I was dedicating everything for it. And now that I switched to triathlon, I'm doing the same. I have the same spirit, same like motivation, just in something else. And I accomplished, like, I ended this chapter, this 4 months chapter of this prep. So it was very emotional for me, like, just, okay,
Oh my God.
I
And mixed
made
with
it.
all the hormones that you're releasing,
Yeah,
and the
like,
tiredness and the fatigue,
you just,
and your friends there
Yeah.
cheering for you,
Yeah.
waiting. Oh my God, that's
and
probably
the
crazy
the other
feeling.
picture with my glasses on that, like, I'm celebrating, is like right at the finish line.
Oh,
and,
okay, let's
Step after, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
This picture is like at the finish line, and you can see the speedway in the back, like the
That's a
beach.
dope picture.
Yeah.
That's an
Sunoco.
awesome one.
And so I had 2 watches on that day
Look
because
what we have.
oh yeah, that's
right
the
here.
same one. Yeah, and I had 2 watches that day because I had my Apple Watch, but the battery in the Apple Watch is pretty bad, so it didn't last the full race. So Enrique, dude,
The
always
man
saving
literally
me.
beat technology.
Yeah, Enrique's always saving me. He landed me his Polar watch, and that's what I used to calculate my
Finish.
pace and everything. And these are the numbers that you have to put in your arm as well. And dude, once you finish, like, you can look at my face.
Dude,
It's
you're
like,
excited,
it's like
amped up,
I did it. Like,
relieved.
let's
Wow.
finish.
Sure. I do
And-
want to ask you, you finished a bunch of hard races, and some people are struggling just beginning to exercise, beginning to
Yeah.
lift, run, cycle, swim, whatever it may be.
My turn.
How do you
Yeah.
how do you go about inspiring somebody? What would you say almost as advice to get people to get started with exercising? What is the first step?
I think, like, you can, like, what I'm gonna say might sound vague, and like you might hear it from other people, but you cannot compare yourself to other people, because I still do that a lot. I'm like, I see pro triathletes, I'm like, how I'm gonna reach that pace or how I'm gonna run that fast. But when I started, that's what I said to what I'm doing right now. So you realize you make progress very quick. But if you're starting to run, you cannot just go out and sprint and think you're going to do that for 30 minutes. Like, run a little bit, jog, then maybe walk for a couple minutes, then run again. Just have patience, because it will happen. Like, progress happens to everybody. If you train, it's going to happen. That's for sure. Like, it's impossible for you to train, do everything you're doing right, and not develop and not make progress. So just know you will make progress. So that's very important. That's what I think. And just have patience, just enjoy the journey. Don't do this because of the result. Like, actually enjoy doing it. Like, I love training. I love, like, not every day, of course, but when you get up early and you get the workout done, you're like, okay, I got this done. And once you see the changes, once you're like, okay, I'm running faster now, and without getting more tired, like, my heart rate is still low and I'm running faster. When you see the results, you start to, like, okay, I'm picking up the pace, I'm enjoying this, and you just keep going. Because, like, the same way we can stack up bad habits, like, oh, I'm sedentary, I'm eating bad, I'm not going to the gym, that's why I don't start, because I'm doing it all wrong. Once you start doing one thing right, okay, you go to the other one, and you start stacking up good habits. And once you're already trained in the morning and it gets to like afternoon and you want a snack, you want to eat like something better, like a chocolate or something, you're like, come on, I already trained in the morning. I'm not going to mess it up now in the afternoon. So once you start doing good things or like healthier things, you want to keep that up just so you don't mess.
Promote like a lifestyle.
Yeah,
change.
yeah. Because like a lot of people tell me, oh, how do I diet for summer? I want to like a 2 month.
Summer shredding.
Yeah, like
challenges.
I want to do like a 2 month project or something. Like you need to learn how to live like this, not do this for 2 months and go back to where you're doing before. So the best every time people say, oh, what's the best diet? The best diet is the one you can do it for longer, the one you can get used to it and enjoy.
Yeah.
So like
be the new normal.
Yeah, there's not a diet. Oh, the keto diet or like I don't know. There's the moon diet. Yeah, paleo. There are a lot of different things.
Carnivore.
The best diet is the one that you enjoy and that you can keep it for longer and that makes you happy and that have results. Yeah, and you can stick with it. So you don't need to be eating lettuce all day. Just like carbs are important for you. So that's why I'm majoring in dietetics. I want to become a dietitian so I can actually be qualified and certified to help people actively make meal plans and help them to reach their goals without stress, without like, oh, I'm starving. Like that's not how it's supposed to be. You know, like I don't like the word dieting, but it's more like eating healthier and having like a good habits. Because every time I'm eating like rice with like some meat and some salad, people are like, "Oh, you're dieting." I'm like, "No, this is just
what I eat.
Food. This is just food. This is lunch.
Just real food.
This is not a category thing. It's just like normal food. That's how it's supposed to be because people are used to eating hamburgers and that kind of things. And once you see someone eating like actual
real
food, they're like, "Oh, that guy's on a diet." I'm like, "No, it's just
this is what I like. That I feel better. I'm a well-oiled
That's how it's supposed
machine.
to be. You know, that's like this is normal. This is actual food. So that's what I try to tell people.
So you would tell people like you'll like this. So guys listening, Jordan Peterson, what he says, compare yourself to who you are today, not to somebody, or to who you were yesterday, not to somebody else today.
Exactly.
So be yourself.
I really like that
Don't
rule.
look at everyone else.
And there's gonna be setbacks. Like once you're doing great for a couple of weeks, and then you have like 2 bad weeks, you're not feeling great. You're just you're stressed because of college or anything. In my finals week, I always like eat some other stuff, like order pizza because you're so stressed and you're like just
Need that comfort food.
Yeah, emotionally eating or that kind of thing. And it's normal. You don't need to beat yourself up because of that. It's like, okay, just go back to normal after that. You don't need to, oh, now that I ate a pizza today, tomorrow I won't eat anything just to balance. No. Just go back to what you're doing. And
don't be so radical with your decisions and changing.
Exactly.
And that's another thing that Dr. Peterson says, right? If you set your standards low enough, you're probably going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? That's another thing he says. Because people, they go from I've never worked out to I want to start the craziest diet, the craziest workout, go to the gym 3 times a day. Okay, you're going to do that for 2 weeks and then never go back to the gym.
Exactly.
So set your standards low enough, guys, so you stop procrastinating.
2%.
Yeah.
Hit the small goal. Hit the small goal. Next thing you know, you hit the huge goal and compare yourself to 2 months ago.
I really like that quote that you put on the board the other day. We were tutoring the group. Remember, you said if you're 1% better every day, that means you're 365% better every year.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than 100% better one day because that's not
and then go
feasible.
Back to
yeah.
Exactly. That's a completely different person too.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
like
build
what
better
I did
each day.
Like, okay, I started triathlon and I want to do a half Ironman. Those are really like big steps. I don't want to tell people to do the same as I did because, you know, everybody's different. But I just want to show that if I did like such a big change in small time, you can do even the same or less than that. Like that's what I want to show. Like I do a half Ironman and someone sees that, okay, I can go for a little jog today.
You can run, a little bit.
So that's I don't want to do this like for praise or anything like that. I just want to show others that
they can move.
I'm normal. I'm doing this just because I took the action.
And that's really awesome because the reason we started this Dash thing is because we really believe that. We believe Dash is like, hey, you don't need to be a genius.
Yeah.
You can be a regular guy who works hard and make it, right?
And embraces the challenge.
Embrace the challenge, exactly. Right. Like once you understand that there's no shortcut, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna be sticking to it.
Things
normal people
hard.
doing normal things can turn out to make extraordinary outcomes, right? Like and get really far.
I do notice you said extraordinary. That's actually something my dad always says. Extraordinary versus ordinary. What is the difference? A little bit extra. You know, do a little bit more. Be a little
the
bit
action.
Yeah.
And so on top of that, you said extraordinary. Do I mention the word record?
Whoa,
Let's
yes.
do it.
So basically, let's begin with Raw, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did you? So, oh my God, this is okay. One thing at a time. So basically, you're gonna meet C-Bum really soon, right? We have an
Ambassador.
an ambassador for Raw here, right? And you got that because you're about to break a world record.
Yeah.
That's how we're starting.
Yeah.
The podcast.
Get it.
So, yeah, world record, and that's getting you to meet C-Bum and represent him even today. So tell us about Raw and what made Raw want you in their team.
So Raw Nutrition, I followed them for a while. I always bought their supplements. You know, C-Bum, I think he's now also an owner of Raw, not just an athlete. And we all know Chris Bumstead, like Mr. Olympia champion.
C-Bum.
And they used to sell supplements for bodybuilding, like whey protein, that kind of stuff. And they're entering the endurance world. They're launching an endurance line.
Really?
With I brought your gifts actually.
You brought us a gift.
Wow.
No way.
So this is their whey protein.
Oh my
Cookies
God.
and cream.
Yeah. I'll
That's
take this
for
away.
us.
Grass. I
Dude,
love it.
straight from C-Bum. Thanks.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Look
So
at
that's
that.
the-
Shout out Raw.
That's their
Oh my
protein powder.
God.
And this is one of their products from their new
my
endurance
God.
line. This is Raw Fuel Endurance.
Wow.
And you can see the difference because this is just protein powder. That's what usually people take after workouts to recover. And this is fuel. It's carbohydrates, sodium, more for
cookies
triathlon.
and cream too. That's the best. That's the best. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
man. Let's try this.
Yeah, let's do it.
I
You
actually
wanna
want
try it?
to
Let's
try
do it,
this.
let's do it, yeah.
Yeah. So we have their. Yeah. Can you pass us that? Yeah. We already set here the production you we're getting. So let's try this out. Oh my God. Let's try it with milk.
Yeah, that's the best way.
So we can get our carbs and our fats in. All the calories. Oh
So
my
this
God.
is my favorite flavor. cookies and
Yeah,
cream.
of course. Oh my God, dude. Thank you so much.
Just get a
Cookies and
scoop
cream.
in.
Yeah, let's
Gio's the
do
man.
this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're about to try here, guys. Let's see if C-Bum has a good taste.
So
That's crazy.
Raw, they started this ambassadors program, and they're like inviting new athletes and new people to promote their brand and their endurance line as they're moving to the triathlon world, not just bodybuilding. So I applied to their ambassadors program, told about my inspirations, what I want to do, my goals. Thank you, sir.
Oops. There we go.
Oh yeah,
Oh my God. We're getting big
Dude,
mid
it
podcast,
smells.
guys. This is
The
how
smell
it
is
goes.
fantastic.
good.
It
It's
actually
good.
smells like cookie dough,
Yes.
I swear. Oh my God. Wow, look at us. Okay, let's
Nice
just put it
protein.
here. Let's leave it there. Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Nothing
That's
says
awesome.
Nothing says dash more than this. Having a protein shake.
protein shake in the middle of the podcast.
Yes. A lot of times they have alcohol, but today we have Jew here, guys.
Oh, yeah.
So it's gotta be a protein
We got
shake.
energy drinks, protein
We
shake.
got energy drinks and the fuel. That's
Yeah.
insane. So they were interested on partnershiping with you because
Yeah, because so I told them my goals, everything I do. I'm a hybrid athlete, and I really share the same principles as the company. And
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
taste test. What do you think?
Let me try it.
Good, right? Cookies and cream.
Wow.
You gotta try this in a shake,
Dude, this is so
like smoothie.
good.
Yeah, it is really good.
Oh my God.
Not a chalky taste.
Yeah,
It's great. Cookies and cream, raw, isolate, protein,
No, I don't
grass
want to
fed.
sound cheesy, but I
Get it.
swear this
And
is
you know,
very different.
In the website, if you put code GIO, GIO, you got 10% off.
Oh
so-
yes, let's put it on the screen. So
Yeah.
what is it called? It's just
GIO, GIO. Yeah.
GIO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gio
So
on
GIO. So you just
Yeah.
go on Raw. What is it? It's just
Raw Nutrition. You
Oh,
type
okay.
Raw Nutrition, you'll find their
And it's
website.
a discount. It's a 10% discount.
10%
on
discount.
anything.
Yeah, anything.
Ooh.
All-
and they even have like clothing
They have clothing, gym clothing,
and all the supplements.
all supplements for bodybuilding. For now, endurance line. They are launching gels, just like the ones I show you for long runs. If you take a gel, they're launching.
They have some hydration you were saying
Yeah,
too.
yeah. They
Right?
also have this. This is C-Bum's formula. That's why it's called Bum Hydration, because he formulated this, and it's salt. So it's a good pre-workout or a pre-run, pre-bike, so you can have your salts in. And I love it. Like it's high quality supplements. They just won the sports nutrition brand of the year.
Really?
So,
Oh yeah, I heard
So
about it.
it's
Like
doing
the
it.
best nutrition brand.
So they're right there, you
Wow.
know.
Hey,
That's
if
crazy.
C-Bum's taking it, it's
Yeah.
something good, right?
And they're gonna do a
That
grand
man
opening.
is Mr. Olympia.
Oh, my fault. They're gonna do a grand opening of their gym in their HQ in Port St. Lucie.
And that's when you're meeting the man himself.
And they're gonna do a meet and greet with C-Bum.
Oh my
And
God,
I'm gonna meet the
Exciting
man.
stuff.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's gonna be awesome.
Since we're paying the bills here, I want to take this opportunity to thank our partners here. Also, F3 Production.
F3, let's
give
go.
it
Round of
F3.
applause
Thank
for
you so
F3.
much for making this podcast possible. Okay, guys, if you ever need any help related to cameras or microphones, if you have a YouTube channel, you don't have time, you need a setup, if you want to do a podcast, if you have an event, you need live streaming, anything, F3 Production, amazing. And they're providing us with the opportunity of meeting today and be talking about all of this. So thank you so much, F3.
Thanks, F3.
So basically you were saying that you were able to get that opportunity because of a very important record. So I want to talk about that too.
I did.
So you had to apply to become an ambassador,
yeah.
right?
They opened an ambassadors program, and you apply. You tell your story. How can you help contribute to the brand, and how they can help you? So I told my story, and one very interesting thing, and I never told this. I only told a couple of friends and my coach, my family.
Today we're announcing it, launching it.
As of right now, I will do another 2 half Ironmans, one in May and one in June, one in Rio de Janeiro and one in Florida. But after that, I will do my first full Ironman
Let's go.
in Mexico in November.
In Mexico, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
But I'll not only do one Ironman. I will go for the world record for the youngest person to do Ironman on 6 continents.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, bro.
Are you serious?
That's insane, bro.
By
So-
what
Oh
age?
my
Age?
God.
So the
So
guy,
what is the current record?
the guy who broke the record? His name is Connor. He's 26-year-old Canadian. He broke the record. With
Watch out,
26
Connor.
year
We're
old.
coming up.
No, shout out to him. He's a huge inspiration for me. I follow him on Instagram. I didn't get the chance to speak to him, but he's very motivational.
He's
and
the current record
yeah,
holder.
he got this record, and he's inspiring me to go for it too. And
So the record is doing an Ironman on all
yeah,
6
so
continents.
the Guinness World Record is completing a full Ironman, which is 3.8 kilometer swim, 180 kilometer bike, and a full marathon, a 42 kilometer run.
Oh my God.
On each continent. So I'll start in Mexico, North America, and then next year I'm planning on doing Oceania, so Australia or New Zealand, Africa, one in Asia, which I'm thinking about Philippines is a good one in Asia.
Oh my
One in
God.
Europe. I'm trying to do one in the summer in Europe, and I want to finish off one in Africa, and I want to finish off in Brazil.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
End it
that's
in Brazil.
So
Yeah.
cool.
And it
So you
works.
can bring it all.
Yeah,
and that's when
everybody.
you break the record.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Because
actually so
you gotta
cool.
complete-
And have you looked into any Brazilians? Do you know if any Brazilians have done in every continent?
I think a few people have done it in every continent, less than 10, I guess. But I'll try to break the record for being the youngest one.
The youngest
Yeah.
one, that's what the record is.
Yeah,
Oh my
the record is
God.
26 years old. I'll be, if everything goes in what I'm planning, I'll be 22.
4 years. Breaking
Yeah,
it by
So
4
you're gonna
years.
beat it by 4
Yeah,
years.
yeah, I'll try.
Oh my God! The only person that's gonna beat his record is like his son or something.
His son when he's like 12.
Yeah, you gotta get this. But I'm doing this again. Not only like,
That
I
is
want to break a world
crazy,
record. No,
dude.
I want to be famous. I want to praise. Or I'm trying to show that, like, again, if this kid did 6 full Ironmans in each continent in a span of like a year and a half, I can do something. I can work out. I can join the gym. I can play a sport. So I'm trying to do this just because it motivates a lot of people, and it's a big thing. If someone hears about this, they're trying to follow me in this journey and see what I'm gonna do. So I'm trying to reach the most people I can. That's why I told this record about Raw.
So C-Bum looked at that and he was like, "That's crazy."
No. I don't know if I got to reach C-Bum.
I know,
I
I'm
spoke
kidding.
to the managers and everything, and they're really excited about this idea.
Imagine like the C-Bum's brand look at something you're doing. They're like, "That's impressive, kid."
Yeah. Oh my
That
God.
was 5 times.
If
this year.
he comments good
Congratulations, man.
work in my post, I'll be done. You know?
Yeah.
Then he's gonna do it by age 19. He's
Oh
gonna do
my
it this
God.
year.
But yeah, so the main thing, like, I know I can do this. I will do my first full Ironman in Mexico, as I said, and I know I can
When is that
finish
exactly?
it in November, Thanksgiving, around
This
Thanksgiving.
year?
Yeah, I'm planning on doing
God.
one this year. That's Mexico. 5 next year, and the last one in Brazil. It's in Florianopolis in May 2026.
South Brazil.
Yeah, so I'm planning on finishing in May 2026 in Brazil, and do it at home, just like
In front of
yeah,
family.
just like wrap this journey with the world record. And
In your home country.
yeah, I'm
exactly.
planning on document everything maybe on YouTube or Instagram, and like show what happened in each continent. Because like, okay, we got to Africa, South Africa, there's an Ironman there. So how's the journey? What challenges I've been through in this continent to do the race? What went well? What went wrong? What I'm learning for my next one? Okay, we got to Australia. That's what I'm doing here. So I think it's a very entertaining as well for people. They're like, oh, I'm following this guy. He's doing like this big challenge. I want to see that. So I told Raw about it, and they said that they want to keep talking to me so they maybe can fund me for this, because that's the main challenge, like funding and budget. Because
Of course.
an Ironman registration is $800. Travel to Africa, you gotta
wow,
pay. You
the
gotta
plane.
yeah, the
hotel.
plane tickets, hotel, registration. So
That's
it's
why
a
it's
lot
good
of
to have
money.
partnerships
Yeah,
and
exactly.
support.
So I'm looking for funding right now. So if big companies or brands, nutrition brands or clothing, they like the idea and they want to be in this challenge, like
If they want to
yeah.
hop on
Yeah,
the
like,
path to break the
Speaking
Guinness
of other
Book record.
partnerships, I
Yeah.
think
yeah.
So we
you
have
have-
some good news.
So
Good news
I got
today, too.
another partnership lately. I got Raw, and now there's a brand called Coffee and Army in Brazil. They have this supplements. It's kind of energy drink with coffee. So you mix it with water and you take it before a pre-workout. You
Oh
can
my God.
you can switch for your regular coffee in the mornings. And I just started this
Army.
partnership with them.
That's
Shout
really
out to
cool.
Caffeine Army. Thank you so much. It was awesome. It's a great opportunity, and they're a huge brand from Brazil. They have the Super Coffee in Brazil,
Yeah.
and here they just changed the name to Smart Energy Coffee.
Because they already had
Yeah,
that name
because
here.
there's already a Super Coffee here in the US.
That's really awesome. Wow, we have a lot of gifts today.
And they got
Jeez.
this little cup.
That's
just nice.
awesome.
cool.
And
so we can have them.
yeah, so I
That's
just started
really
this
cool.
partnership with them. I'm hoping to reach like more and more brands.
Be ready today. That's awesome.
Yeah, and
That's
they're
really
just
cool.
expanding to the US. So they're trying
Also,
to,
they weren't here before.
no, this is a Brazilian brand, Brazilian owned brand.
So they're
which
starting it here now, and
Yeah.
you're helping them bring it over here.
I'm trying to help them expand here in the US, make sales in the US. Also, discount code in their website, Geo, and it's only
Same
for
discount
the, yeah,
code?
same discount code. It's only for the American website because I'm partnered with the American part of the
Company.
company. Yeah, it's Coffee and Army, but to help them in US. So in their American website, you can use my code, get 10% off.
That's
And
awesome.
I love because both of these companies, like I share the same principles with them, like just one more step, like effort and going for your dreams, like seeking like discomfort, going out of your discomfort, your comfort zone. And both of these companies, they share this as well. So I couldn't be happier like to be with them. And hopefully this can grow and they can help me go do this challenge, this world record journey. And maybe if I can find
That would
more
be-
more sponsors or more companies that are willing to help me in this, because I'm telling you right now, I will do it. Like
You will do it,
yeah,
guys.
you can consider this done. Like if I'm saying this right now, it will happen. But the only part is the budget and the price. Because if it depends on me, I will get it done. I will complete the 6 Ironmans in
That's
each continent,
awesome, man.
and I'll bring the record to Brazil, which I think will be very nice. And
Yeah.
So you mentioned
Guinness
6
Book to
continents.
Brazil.
Yeah.
There's one that you didn't mention.
yeah. So
Tell us about
the world
that.
record, like the Guinness, the record is for 6 continents. But what Connor did, shout out to Connor again, he stepped even further. After he broke the record, he was like, I will do one in Antarctica, because there are no Ironmans in Antarctica, official races. So what him and another guy did, I saw him in the Yes Theory channel, I forgot his name, but they both did an Ironman race distance in Antarctica. So they went to Argentina, got a boat, sailed through the Drake's Passage to
which I hear is insane.
yeah, it's one of the worst like
Waters.
yeah, in the world. And they sailed to Antarctica with like a crew, swam in freezing water
Imagine Gio swimming in water. There's a polar bear jumps in, sees Gio, now turns back away. I can't eat this. I'm going to die.
You're like, yo, excuse me, I'm doing my race now. No, but it's like freezing waters. There are seals and like a lot of different like actual dangers in there. So I only know that these two guys did it.
And you're not trying to go to the gym?
I know that they did it, and Connor did it, I think, this year, beginning of this year. And, bro, that was so, like, inspirational for me. And, like, I'm not trying to, I'm going to beat him. No, hell no. Like, he's a motivation for me.
You want to replicate.
Yeah, I want to replicate and, like, do what he did and show to more people so they can do it as well. And maybe break this record again and, like, just show them that everybody can do this, because I think Connor was also a regular guy who wanted to take on this challenge. So he broke the record, 6 continents, and it was like, I'll do one in Antarctica. So that's what him and the other guy from yesterday did. I forgot his name. And they both did this, and they swam in the freezing ocean, 3.8K, then biked in the snow in Antarctica, 180-kilometer bike, and then ran a marathon in Antarctica. And I think they did in like 40 hours or like something like that.
40 hours.
I mean, that sounds so...
So I'm not thinking about this one right now. I want to dedicate to the 6 continents the world record. But, that would be also very interesting to do, like if I can get a crew together. But I know that this is more ahead of me, and it's just something that I have in my mind. But as of right now, I'm breaking this.
Not to discount like anything that you've done, but have you done any longer running races? I see there's ultra marathons at 100.
Yeah, so the longest race I did, as these half Ironmans are half marathons, the longest race I did was like 25K, and so I never did a marathon. But
that's like in the future.
Yeah, like
I mean that's part of the
right.
Ironman.
Yeah,
has a full marathon.
An Ironman is a full marathon. So I don't know if I'll do a marathon before the Ironman, but as I always did, like in the half Ironman, I never did like other stuff. So I'll just jump in, and like in my mind, I know I have like the mental toughness to go through it. I know I won't give up and I just stop. Like I will complete, because the record is completing. You don't need to do it under a certain time. The cutoff time for Ironmans is 17 hours. And if I do one, I'll try to go 12, maybe under 12 for the first time.
Do you know the world record for an Ironman?
For the fastest Ironman?
Yes.
I believe it's it Jan Frodeno or Christian Blumenfeld. They're pro triathletes. I don't remember.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, you can look it up so I don't say anything wrong. But I think it's like 7 hours 40 or...
That's insane.
Yeah, no, like I did a half Ironman in 5:20. They did a full in 7 something. Like
crazy.
Yeah, so that's like doing 2 halves in like 3.5 hours.
But do you ever plan on doing
8 hours and 8 minutes?
Oh, 8 hours and 8 minutes. Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever plan on doing 100 miles?
I plan. Yeah, just because like of the. I want to do an ultra marathon. Like as of right now, I'm focusing on triathlons, but ultra marathons like 100K or 100 miles, I want to do just to reach that level of like, okay, I'm like 50K in. It's just me, the dark, because you go through the night in these races. I want to see what levels I get mentally, because people who do this, they say like, bro, you just reach a level of consciousness, like you're talking to yourself, you have the deepest conversation of your life while you're in like 80 kilometers in, and like I want to feel that spiritual experience, like when you're like your body is just telling you to stop, but your mind is just I'm gonna keep going. I want to finish this, and that's what Dave Goggins does as well. And it's just like so beautiful. Like once you accomplish it, and like I could bet that I would not be able to do this, but your mind is like, okay, you are doing it.
Yeah,
you
I'm
will
not
finish
sure the
it.
exact distance, but that's like you saying, hey, I'm just gonna casually run to Tampa. Like you right now just going to Tampa.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
that's
ultra marathons are like that.
From
but
Orlando to Tampa, yeah, that's insane.
that's what I want to do now. I'm firstly focusing on this first semester. Well, I'm also studying, so I gotta always balance like the academics and like all my exams and everything with triathlon. So I gotta wake up early before class, do the trainings. I'm focusing now on the 70.3s that I'm doing. In May, I'll do in Panama City Beach here in Florida. And in June, I'll do Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. It will be the first one I'll do in Brazil. So I
Let's
think that would be nice in Rio, you know?
Yeah. If I'm in
And-
Brazil, I'll stop
Yeah,
by.
definitely,
If we
definitely.
go to Brazil this summer.
Stop
And-
by.
Yeah, that
for
would be
sure.
crazy. That would be really awesome, man.
So next semester, I'm going all in. Well, I don't know when this podcast is going to be up, but I'll probably have said it in my social media as well. This is the first time I'm talking about this world record. As I said, the only thing is funding. I don't know if I'll do a fundraiser or if I'll get the sponsors, but on the second semester, I'll dedicate to do that. And Mexico, Cozumel, it's an island in Mexico. That will be the first race, of the 6.
That's awesome, man. Well, good luck, bro.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
pleasure having you here today. And wow, that's a lot, man.
We've
That's
heard a lot about Gio. I mean,
I can't even believe somebody can do all of this in such a short period of time. So this is truly inspiring because we're big on athletics as well. You see, we do a lot of exercise and stuff. So seeing an extreme like that, right, where you take it to a whole other level really shows us and empowers us, showing that it's possible. So thank you so much for being here today.
thanks, Gio.
It was
Guys,
a
that you
big
can clearly
pleasure.
see you can do it.
Yeah.
He can do it. We can do it. Anyone can do it. So can you.
Yes, so everybody that stayed with us this entire time, thank you so much for sticking through, staying until the end. Follow Gio on his social
Thank you.
medias. Say,
Yeah, so,
do your ads here.
My social media is Gio_Garotti. I don't know if you're going to put it in there.
Garotti, we can put it.
Yeah,
underneath.
and I do on Instagram. I post all my routines, my studying, how I balance the academics with training. And well, from the second semester, I'll start this world record journey, and I'll post everything, document every single thing. I want to thank my sponsors, Raw and Caffeine Army, for helping me through this. And yeah, like as I said, my main purpose is just helping other people and show that they can do it as well. So I'm very happy that I'm healthy and I'm able to do this. So, and thank you for the invitation. Like,
Thank you, bro.
Thanks, guys.
I couldn't be happier to be here with you guys. So
Yeah, this is.
I'm happy that you guys are doing this. So
Thanks, and
congratulations.
you
until
so
next
much,
time,
man.
guys.
Thank you guys so
Dash.
much. Have a good one. Woo, go
Thank
Dash.